Oh, okay. There we go. That's a little bit better.
Go again, sing. Never been a front band, but I've always done like background vocals and I've been playing drums. Started out when I was 7 years old. Marching band in school. And once I learned how to do that, I got into drum and bugle corps called the Scarlet Knights, and I started playing the bass drum and the triple toms and the rack toms, which was 6 of them instead of triples. And then I went from that to the drum for the jazz band in high school. Started playing the drum kit. Took some lessons and played in a couple metal bands. Then I got hurt and I spent like 7 years.
So in essence, is it total darkness? It is darkness, but that's not the only thing there. There's more to it. There's pretty much the shadow. So what exactly do you find in the shadow? Solitude, fear, uncertainty, I think. So not all of it negative. When do you find yourself in this state? Right now.
Shop coffee, food for coffee. How they be coming in? My skin, have to wet to begin. Take a loss for the win. Choose for me. Probably getting my fill with cigarettes before they come in the quit.
Always gotta have that last one.
Yeah.
Huh?
Not happy.
Well, all right. Oh, you want to pick up some soda from there? Your Facebook people have on it? No, it's not good. Let's talk about questions on there.
Okay, that's why I didn't ask you.
Practicing my ninja skill.
Hey, what up, Wayne? What up, Corey? Did you know if you
I saw a couple questions on there.
If you know,
I think someone asked if I had him quit smoking, would they want to quit smoking weed too? And the answer
No.
is
Most people are that way anyway.
No, absolutely freaking not.
Oh,
now, if it's something you wanted to quit, then the pattern could work for both, you know. But then
No, don't get caught.
you freak out. Yeah.
but you won't quit.
Oh yeah, I did see that. It's supposed to be neck tattoos. That's the word shit to me. Did you see that shit with the D?
Yeah, the D with
Neck
neck tattoos.
tattoos, and real, they're not gonna let you in.
Whirlwind, man. Endorsed by those motherfuckers.
Shit, bro.
Have they tried the Whirlwind power supplies?
Can you guys do any what?
Whirlwind, you got the Whirlwind.
What up, Teresa?
Whirlwind power supplies are freaking.
Oh, no, somebody just brought me that snake.
Man, you guys don't want me not smoking weed. I can promise that. Half the time I'm tripping
You can't
the fuck
take
out.
all his vices away.
Half the fucking tripping
I don't
out
take
videos
anything away.
that you guys
Well, yeah,
see me
yeah.
on, I am
Suggesting your mind does what it wants to do.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a scary thought.
I learned a long time ago to be very specific with suggestions. I think I've told them the story before.
My mind will run like crazy.
One of the first times on stage, and you can give 10 people the exact same suggestion, and you'll get 10 different reactions.
I'm right here.
It's how they interpret it.
Yeah.
You want to see my head? There. I'm pulling out the staples. Actually, I might do it tonight. There's only two. God damn it. I would have yanked them bitches myself the other day.
There's only 2 staples. That's a pussy hit.
Fuck you, dude. Those gangsters.
No,
There's a hell of
20
stitches.
staples. That's a hit.
Yeah.
How many stitches?
There's a bunch of stitches, but they're
Yeah, because I was feeling that. I was like, man, geez.
yeah, they suck.
Oh, you know what it is? He stitched me and the shit wasn't working. He's like, man, fuck this, dude. Bam! That's when I woke up on that first staple. Fuck, yep, nope, but nope. Ain't nobody fucking around.
Yep, nope, but nope.
Nope, not at all. I was going to
Okay,
sit on your
so-
lap, man.
Whoops, sorry, puppy.
Come here.
Step
Oh,
on the cookies.
What's up?
Hammer dog.
It wasn't me, man.
Let's see.
Don't blame me.
I'll tell you what.
He lays right under everybody's feet all the time.
I don't need to quit smoking, so
What?
I don't need to quit smoking because I don't
Oh,
smoke.
so how,
I just don't have an addictive personality. You know? I'm not really addicted to anything.
Oh, I do. I go from one
Except
addiction
for
to another.
sex.
no,
I like sex.
okay, too.
No. You don't
Being
want to stop
too much
that.
of a
I don't want
nice
to stop that. Although I'm not getting it anyways.
Being too much of a nice guy. You ain't getting it
I
from
learned
me, no
early
matter
on
how
not
much
to
I
do
love
the
you.
sex addict thing.
Yeah.
You know what I was thinking?
Because, you know, you get
Grab
the
that
sex
chair
addicts
right
and all
there.
they want to talk about
Am I
is why
down
they're
here?
addicted to sex. With sex.
Good, really, exactly, right? Yeah.
Can you put a tiny window over there so we can kind of see that? Just so I'm
You know, I changed my Facebook password and I don't remember it.
Oh.
So I haven't put it on this computer yet.
My friend Doug Comedian at stand up, I kind of take
I'm
this.
good right here, man.
He says,
No, I
you
want
know
to make
what?
sure you're in
You
the
gotta get
camera.
in the camera.
If
Hold on,
you have sex with a midget,
Put
and
it way
then
back there.
you go cruising the carnival every night after work, sicko, you know?
Sicko, yeah. Right. It was funny. Somebody goes, I want to have sex with a midget.
You know why they
It'll
go
make
on
me
there,
look
man.
bigger.
Yeah.
Or I have big, tiny women with small hands.
Just chill, people. It's case place after us, you know. Oh, shit, that's what I forgot.
Yeah, I said, what do you? I said, I don't know. It depends on the situation and if I was there and what, you know, what moment.
Yeah.
I think if I had to pick, someone asked me, who would you pick? If you had to pick any little people, who would you pick? And I said, Tiny Texan. Tiny Texan.
Y'all know where I
He's
got
like
this
perfectly
badass
formed,
shirt, huh?
perfectly proportionate.
Look at this motherfucker.
That hooker that walks up and down
Now you can see
the
me.
same way. Yeah, he walks up and down Rancho. That's tall.
And you know, right?
I lived right off there,
Right,
so
yeah.
I drive up and down Rancho all the time. And
Come on, you can't drive around town
And not see, yeah, right. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Yeah. Yeah. It was funny because my
They
daughter.
flagged you for the most, hey, oh, I thought you actually needed a ride.
Yeah, really.
No.
That was funny. My daughter's sitting there. She goes, yeah.
Good as shit, motherfucker. I can't say
Are they
that.
still hookers around? I said, yeah, there's like 3 right there. And she
Yeah,
goes,
and they don't get it.
she looks at me, she goes, how do you know? I'm like, look at how they're dressed.
where they
How
at?
they're
Stand here
walking.
for 10 minutes, they'll go up, come back, go up.
If you see a cop, man, they'll
Yeah,
just
yeah.
disappear, man. You don't even know where they went. It was like
They start
smoke. It's like,
texting on their phone and they're just,
it's crazy.
They just disappear. And yeah. So, are you guys ready for this or what?
No.
No. What are y'all scared for, man?
We'll both go out and have a smoke before we do this shit.
How about that's what you were doing already, having the last one?
No, I was having tried to smoke my carton on the way over here.
Trying to smoke your whole carton. Gonna get it all in.
It's a waste of money, man. Yeah, you know the reasons why I need to quit. It's kind of imperative.
Yeah.
So hopefully my mind's strong enough and I don't turn into a serial killer or anything.
All right, everybody, we're back here at C4OC Revolution Radio 2 Mondays, and we got Mike Lizelle again. And did I say
Back
that right?
with the mind mechanic. Yeah, you got it right.
I got it right. 'Cause you looked and you kind of went. Like, okay, yeah, I got it right this time. Okay, but
It's the message that's important,
right?
Not my name.
We got the mind mechanic here again on the show. He's gonna. He had Chris almost crying last week.
Yeah, I saw that. That was really close.
Yeah, it was close.
It
was
emotion.
well up emotion. Yeah, we all. Oh yeah, sure.
Me?
Yeah,
when you're carrying that much pent up emotion inside, you need, because trust me, it's coming out in other ways.
Oh yeah, it's going to come out one way or another. That's very true.
You get your head split open and all kinds of good stuff. So.
I didn't do nothing, man.
You don't have to.
No, you don't have to. You've done enough. No, but we also got Paul Gluszewski from IDSFA. You guys can't see him; he's kind of sitting off camera, but you know what? There he is, right there. So we're going to be doing this. So if you guys are watching there on Facebook Live, if you're watching also on our YouTube channel, it's always there. Listen to on C4OC. We're going to be doing some, I guess you can call it a little bit of assisted self-help.
Yeah.
You know, because Mike's not really Mike. I mean, Mike's always said this. You know, he's not going to fix you. You're going to fix yourself.
Right.
And it's a big deal. I mean, if you want to explain what it's kind of what we were talking about earlier, it's everybody in their mind has a job to do. Your subconscious does one thing, and you know it's other thing. Mike explains a lot better than I
Yeah,
Go ahead, Mike.
That's because I've been
does,
explaining
dude.
it for 37 years. You kind of get
It's
the
what he does.
the gist
man.
down.
yeah.
once you
Kind
go.
of what
I don't have to think about it. He's taking, poor Steve, I give him a whole bunch of information in like 2.5-3 minute pump, and then he's got to come and try and put it
Yeah,
out.
I got to put it all together.
People say it's so easy for you. Yeah, well, I've been talking about it for 30
But you
years.
talk about it
Doing
easy though, man. It's
Well, sure.
not like all that baffling you with bullshit and big terms.
Well, and it shouldn't. That's when I said about mind mechanics. I tried to bring some very complicated issues down into very simple processes because, yes, your mind is capable of some amazing, complicated things, but it all starts with a simple process, thought. That's it. Nothing exists without your thought. So even when you're asleep, even when you're in a
programming,
dream
that's how
state,
that works so
right?
good.
You are nothing but a pattern recognition and a pattern generating machine. And that's what we're going to discuss tonight. That's smoking, okay, what we call an addiction, which is simply an experience. And we'll start off with this. I tell every smoker this. Remember your first cigarette, okay? Everybody, you coughed. Your body tried with everything it had to reject the experience, okay? But the reason you started smoking was what? You wanted to look
Stolen from
cool,
my parents at 5.
or you wanted something that you told your mind. You took a physical event, okay? that was horrid to your body. Your body tried to reject it. It coughed. It did it. Sit down and smoke a pack of cigarettes first time. Look how sick you get.
It released endorphins for me somehow, and it shouldn't have. Right?
Well,
maybe
It did for me too.
absolutely.
Is that-
Did.
but
Because
it
one,
shouldn't
what are
have,
you
though.
doing? You're deep breathing. Okay. This is the common misconception about nicotine. They say, "Oh, nicotine's the most addictive drug." It is.
It is.
Okay,
Honestly,
but
it is. It's the one thing
here's
I
the
ain't
thing.
never been
The
able to
withdrawal from nicotine is a pinch. And I know everybody, when I say that, first smokers go, "Oh, okay, man, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about because I have this and I have grumpiness and I want to kill people and I have pains and I eat more." And well, sure you do. Okay. All that is produced by your mind. And yes, it turns out as a physical response in your body. So you believe it's what you call real, but it's not generated by the nicotine. Okay. It's generated by that same exact power that you told your body to develop a pattern for wanting something that at first you didn't want. And that's what it did for you. It used that power. So all we're going to do tonight is use that exact same power to reverse the process you did however many years ago you started smoking. And it's simply pressed play ever since then. Okay. Now, since then, you've reinforced it with this too. What do you think? Because you've been taught, you've been given pre-limiting thoughts. Okay. Remember I said everything starts with thought. Okay. Well, when you think, "Oh, I'm going to have this," it actually takes as an instruction in your subconscious. Oh, so I'm to get grumpy. I'm to want more food. I'm to do. It takes as an instruction set when you go to quit because you've been taught quitting's hard. Okay. If I turn around, and this is one thing I ask all smokers, since you guys both smoke, you ever know a very weak-willed person, someone you consider weak that quit cold turkey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
More
Did you ever ask
so.
yourself how they do it?
You did it, didn't you?
No, because here's the thing. It's not about willpower. All right. And this is the common misconception is people think you have to have willpower to quit. No, all you have to do is change the pattern. Okay. And the pattern is what you developed all those years ago when you took a cigarette to your mouth and your body went, "No way." And you said, "No, I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do this." With every smoke and every breath, you had a thought and your subconscious mind built a pattern and said, "Okay,
I don't care
we're
what
going to
nobody
make you
said.
want this then."
It did look cool in the 80s, man.
There you go. And if you think back to your original reason, you didn't start because you enjoyed the
Fuck
experience.
no.
Okay. You may have shortly afterwards, yes. Nicotine, when it goes into your system, if you watch what it does in the brain, okay, it's a dopamine release. It goes up and instantly attaches itself to your dopamine receptors and it pops out dopamine. Okay. In very small amounts, but your mind instantly and your body instantly wants that release. That's why you'll go smoke to get your smoker's high or whatever. Now, it's also combined with deep breathing, which causes you to relax. So most people associate, well, smoking relaxes. Well, of course it does. Because you're going,
Look, I never
you're
thought
doing a
about that.
controlled
That's like,
inhale, exhale,
I
which
never
if you
breathe
do
any
without
other
a
time.
cigarette, yeah, and you're normally not breathing that deep.
Right.
So I know people don't believe it, and they say, "No, Mike, because I have these. You don't understand." I don't. Yes, I do understand because I've been dealing with those, and I've watched people. Okay, time and time again, see that they can actually reverse that process, and it doesn't matter which tool you use to do it. Okay, hypnosis is just a tool. NLP is just a tool. Okay, cognitive
NLP,
behavioral
what the
therapy
hell is
is
that?
just a tool. Whatever tool works for you.
What's
all-
NLP?
Neuro-linguistic programming.
Okay.
Okay, it's how you program basically every single. It simply means, like when I say the word microphone, you have neuro-associated. Okay, which means
Like
a neuron in
Sully
your brain.
that's what Sully kept trying to say she was doing to me.
Yeah. NLP deals with the natural way you learn anyway. How do you learn the word no as a baby? You stick your hand out, parents go no in a tone that's startling to you, and you withdraw. You neuro-associate that that's something bad. Hot, the word, hot means. So those are neuro-associations. Everything you do, it's a neuro-associative pattern. Okay. So when you learn how your body builds patterns, well, obviously then you can go in and learn to change them. Okay. We're just not taught this in school. And why we're not taught, I don't know.
Because they don't want us to be taught.
That's a big question. Plus, it's not considered, and think of, like I've said before,
That also-
I'm not knocking education people. You can get educated without being in a
But we
classroom.
need good education,
Okay.
especially for the money we spend.
You are educated, and our school system was designed to do one thing: put you in a
Programming.
role in life and make them meter those roles of how many people are going to become this, how many people are going to become that, who's qualified to do this, who's qualified to do that. Because without anybody doing the burger stands and this and running the tractors and all, if everybody was taught to become an entrepreneur, who's going to work? See what I mean?
People addicted to heroin are great on
They are.
Oh, seriously.
Oh, yeah.
If
Think
they
about
took, if they took that skill set
Yeah.
that they used to get their
wow,
drugs,
dude.
Yeah.
they would be millionaires.
It
And
ain't
the
really
only
hard
reason
for
they
them
have that
anymore.
skill set is because they're motivated. They
They're-
don't
they're
want
very
to get
motivated.
sick. The
Yeah.
need to avoid pain is 1,000 times greater motivator than the need to gain pleasure.
That's a lazy stoner, man. That motherfucker ain't doing shit, nothing. And then all of a sudden he's taking an apple and making a bong because he had nothing else to smoke with.
So
So that's what we're afraid of, is that you're just start masturbating instead of smoking. Which
No.
we can't have that.
No.
You just see
Especially in a public place, it gets a little more awkward than,
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
I'm going to go outside and masturbate, so I'm going to go out and have a
Please
cigarette.
don't do that anymore.
Hey, that is a special
For some
occasion
reason, I
between
wasn't
me
welcome
and me.
back to the local club.
I don't share
But
that
back to
experience with no one.
But
but
back
me.
to, listen,
Yeah, really.
if the physical addiction was real, okay, and what I mean by real is if it was actually the nicotine,
I would be timed out on. I would notice
those
more.
weak people that you saw quit would
Yeah.
never be able to quit. Okay, because here's where willpower.
They
I say
die.
again, willpower doesn't work. Willpower is you doing this. Put a piece of chocolate cake and you look at that cake over and over and go, I'm not going to eat that cake. I'm not going to eat that. Well, actually, you telling a negative and looking at it reinforced every time you're thinking about eating the cake to say that.
And you're trying to talk yourself out of it.
And your mind loves the pleasure of chocolate cake. So you're not talking yourself out. You're actually talking yourself into it the more you talk about it.
Man, that makes a hell of a
What
lot
we
of
consider
sense.
weak-willed people, what they've able to do is they've literally just flipped that same switch that they did when they said the day I want the cigarette, and they go, I don't want it anymore. And their mind, without them even knowing, their subconscious mind goes, oh, okay, turns off the pattern of any of the what you call withdrawals. Okay. Now, yes, I'm not saying they're not physical symptoms. I'm going to reiterate. What I'm saying is they are caused by your subconscious, not the nicotine. They are caused by your subconscious running a pattern that you've told it to execute those programs. That's why it does.
I know one thing. We're gonna keep doing this, and we don't mind. We're gonna keep right now, but we're gonna do this after a break, though, because you guys got to tune in and tell your friends or some bullshit or something, man. Come on.
You guys
see the replay. There's valuable information.
I was already
don't
trying
get
to
me
talk
wrong.
myself out of it earlier.
I am.
Yeah, you were.
He was talking to me, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm not going to do that tonight." I'm like, "Well, I am."
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you
What
told
are
me.
you afraid of?
So, like,
What are you afraid
Because I'm
of?
out of cigarettes. I'm like,
That's the perfect time, right?
I'm even saying out loud. I know that's a special reason right
Yeah.
there. But
So to answer one of your questions, I saw someone on there had posted a question of, if he hasn't quit smoking, or I forget how
they
they
said
worded
something
it.
about weed. That was
Yeah, would
that
you
was
quit smoking
Candy
weed?
or Kim?
No, not really. No, if it's something that, yes, I gave the program, you got to remember when we do the things that I do, the patterns that I run, and what I help them to change their patterns, I'm not dealing with the cognitive mind. I'm bypassing it. Okay. So this is where willpower exists, and what you try to use, you're using the cognitive mind to try and change something that's in the subconscious mind. And most of us don't have that daily link. Okay. You can put yourself in that state by getting more relaxed or doing meditation or all these other ways.
Do you control your dream zones?
Yeah, I've learned to
I did.
lucid dream now over the years, and it's something I had to teach myself to do.
It took me years. That's bullshit, man. You can hit the ground and you won't die. If you
Yeah,
don't.
absolutely.
It took me
Yeah.
like a year and a half to, and at that point in time, I was kind of peaceful with myself. I could do I'd always have them dreams,
Yeah, I've never
flying
hit the ground
dreams,
either.
I've never fallen
and
in my
then
dreams.
you'd want to have them the next day.
I've
and
flown
you
in my
did or something,
dreams.
and you couldn't do it. But I mean, that was
The biggest
hitting
thing
ground.
the biggest thing I have to overcome anytime the word hypnosis comes up is
My dreams are fine.
you think Hollywood hypnosis.
But
And that's
that's
what
what
you've
they-
seen in the
that's-
movies. That's what's been perpetrated.
Chicken.
Same thing. I'm gonna bark like a dog. That'd be because of all the shows, and that's just one application of the process, guys. Is everybody is suggestible. You're being suggested to every single day. I'm sure all of us have done something in our life. We're like, why did I do that, my friends? Well, because you were in a highly suggestible state. Someone said something, and your mind said, hey, let's go for it, even on a subconscious level. The problem is we're not taught the difference between the conscious and the subconscious and how to access it. Once the subconscious is not your thinking logical part, okay? So you can give it a negative pattern. If you've, in a state, told it that's something you want to do, it doesn't reason. It doesn't go, okay, this is bad for you. Just like the smoking. You told it that's what you wanted to do. Now, your body tried to reject it. It knew it was bad. It knew this wasn't something. It didn't want smoke in its lungs, same as you don't want water in there. But it wasn't enough of a thing that it can't. You overrode it several times saying, I want to do this. You had that will, that intent. So your subconscious went, oh, this is something you want to do. Okay, well, we'll make you want this then. We'll build that pattern. And that's what it does. What Stephen was talking about earlier, I was telling him, think about it like this. And this is where most of our problems come in when we say we're trying to rid a pattern or something, you're trying to fire someone. And this is the best analogy I've ever heard, because one of the ways of doing this is called no content therapy. Okay. So the very first time I heard of that man, Freddie Jacqueline, who's been doing it, I think 55 years in the UK. I've mentioned him before on the show, but learned this from him quite a few years back. And what's interesting about it is I don't have to know the person's problem. I don't have to know even their name. Okay. I use that to converse with them. All I do is basically go in and make the parts negotiate with each other. Okay. And what I mean, has anybody ever said there's a part of me won't let me do this? There's a part of me that keeps me doing that. Well, because you're saying that because there really is. It's a separate pattern part of you. Okay. It's on its own. Now, I was telling Steve, the best analogy that I heard him ever give that explains this is this. Let's say there's a company. There's a guy that works at the company named Bob, and he swept the floor for 30 years. Okay. Now this company starts making a new product, or they want to make a new product. The foreman, okay, comes to the boss and says, hey, listen, Bob's sweeping these floors. He's got to go. All right. And the owner goes, wait a minute, what are you talking about? And Bob's been a loyal employee. Well, this is you. Okay. Bob is your pattern. Okay. And he says, well, he sweeps and now we're making this new computer product. So this is the new pattern you want to generate. Okay. And it's destroying the computers. The dust lands on them. We're losing product, this, that, and the other. Okay. Now the foreman's standing there. He's just trying to get a job done. So he says, well, Bob's got to go. The owner is going, well, we can't just fire him. I can't fire an employee that's been, loyal. So he says, well, tell you what, let's get a hold of HR, human resources, and let's find out if there's something else Bob can do. Okay. This is what we do in parts negotiation. I simply get to the subconscious part of your mind, and I can tell you, it will literally communicate. We'll link a finger to it or something where it can do passive communicate, like I was showing you last week with the linking of the where's that?
Yeah.
Your subconscious literally will tell you where disease in your body, everything. It knows. It's running all the 60 trillion cells in your body. So trust me, it knows where things are. Okay. Even though you can't even put a name on it. It doesn't deal in names and labels. It knows where things are. It knows why patterns are there and where they're for. So anyway, back to this analogy. So what we do in negotiation, parts negotiations, we go in and we get those parts of the mind in the same room together talking. And we say, hey, human resources, Bob's your pattern over here that you've had, like smoking or whatever. Okay. Now, when you say, I want to get rid of this pattern, what are you saying? You're saying you want to fire Bob. You want to get rid of a part of you. Well, that part of you goes, say, wait a minute, buddy. I've been helping you for 30 years. You told me to do this. Now you're going to fire me for doing my job? What the hell? Of course it's going to fight you. And most of the time, since it's in a more powerful area of your mind, he says, hey, I'm sitting here with the owner, man. The owner says, I've been here for 30. I ain't got to go. So it overrides what the foreman's telling you. Foreman's your conscious mind. Okay. Foreman's going, but listen, we're trying to get this job done and this isn't working now. Okay. Yes, Bob, you worked for 30 years. Okay. Well, here's where the magic takes place. Okay. When we get them all to talk together and Bob no longer feels threatened, because we simply tell the parts the same thing. Hey, listen, let's get a hold of human resources. I don't want to get rid of Bob. We want him to stay in the company, but he's got to find something else to do because the sweeping the floors is now destroying the product. The old pattern is no longer working. We know we told you to do that. We know that was your job that we had you do for 30 years. You've been a faithful employee. Thank you for working for us, okay? Now, these are actually parts of your mind, remember. So we're telling those parts, get together, guys. Let's give them a new job. Well, the human resources are your creative centers. And when you simply ask in those states, a more relaxed state, hey, creative centers, can you communicate with the foreman over here, which is your cognitive mind? And can you guys get with the owner, the subconscious over here, and Bob, who's one of the employees of the subconscious? And can we all communicate together and come up with 50, 100 new ideas, anything that accomplishes the same thing? So everybody's happy. Okay. Then they have a meeting. Now, this actually happens on stage. I've put 20 people on stage. I think I told you this before. I got challenged to do it.
By a doctor, right?
Yeah.
Female doctor?
Yeah, she was a psychologist. Yeah. She's a
Oh,
psychiatrist. And I said, I'm not even going to ask what their problem is. That's why I don't need to know the problem. Because guess what? They know their problem. Their subconscious knows the answer to it. It knows why it's been doing what it's doing. It doesn't have to explain any of that to me. All I have to do is get the parts together and talk about it and give the suggestion of,
We need to get him in front of Congress, man. And
Right?
I think it would probably be after they see me do this to one person on stage. I don't think
No,
they'd
that's
ever.
why I'm saying we got to get you with all of them at once. That way they don't see it coming.
No, definitely.
But the power of it, and this is what my life's mission has been, is just to go out and explain to people this is how simple it really is. This is what's there. Your mind is what's doing all the patterns anyway. It does everything it does for a reason. Even if it has a negative outcome in your life, it's simply because now you, the foreman, your cognitive mind is going, this doesn't work for me anymore. Well, and the other part's going, hey, sorry, buddy, been here a long time. I'm not going to do that. Well, when we get in and get everybody communicating, then the changes happen. And they happen that damn fast. The trick is getting them all to communicate and making everybody see that we're on the same page. They're no longer fighting. Willpower is you fighting your subconscious.
You know what I just realized?
You're not going to win 99% of the time because you're actually sending it the wrong signal. I don't want to eat the cake. I don't want to eat the cake.
Is partial Mountain Dew goes hand in hand with smoking. I'm addicted to
Coffee,
both smoking
yeah.
and Mountain Dew.
Yep.
And those two together, I drink a Mountain Dew, I want a cigarette. Same with in a bar. You see people. I had my bass player's wife, not a smoker.
No.
In a bar where she has a drink, she's going to smoke.
Patterns.
It's really
Patterns.
weird.
Yeah.
The first
Yeah,
time
they
she ever asked me
associate
for a
one-
cigarette, I'm like,
one
She
with
neuro
another.
associates that setting with wanting a cigarette. So her mind plays it for her
I knew
automatically
that,
and produces the craving.
When we did the show a couple weeks ago, and you hypnotized
Kristen.
Kristen, and I knew it was real by filming her and putting it up. But
You want me to
didn't
ruin
even
that
know.
for you real quick?
I
I'll ruin
did
it how I
not-
ruined it for myself.
I did not know till
Yeah, really.
When I found out what the number one, do you know that the main ingredient in there is actually patented as something? And when I found out what it was patented as, I did a double take. It's patented as a flame retardant.
awesome.
And then you actually want to put out a fire, throw a Mountain Dew on it.
Well, I'm
It'll
fire,
that
so that's
quick.
good for me.
It will retard it
That
very
just
fast.
makes me want to drink
yeah.
more.
I
But
was standing on
When I
my
found
foot,
out
though.
the main,
She did.
what's it called? I can't even think of the name of it at the moment. It's what they use for the sweetener, and there's a lot of it in there. And it literally, they
Fructose?
take E. coli bacteria, put it in a huge vat. They feed them petroleum products, and what they poop is what they use to sweeten that drink.
Sweet.
And if
That's,
You're drinking shit.
yeah, you're drinking E. coli.
Hey, you guys got
Feces.
you gotta write a freaking song about that now for IDSFA, huh?
Once I heard
Oh,
that,
no
I
doubt.
could no longer drink Mountain Dew the way I
Now
used
that
to.
I know that, I probably won't either.
Yeah, I heard
Yeah, but that was the thing. Everybody that was
Yeah.
watching the show that time, I showed them.
as he pops one.
I'm just the opposite.
I could tell she was.
I do
under for
still
real, but
like
didn't know
Mountain
till
Dew. I
next
do.
time that I was standing on her foot.
Right,
I didn't
right,
do
right,
it on
right.
purpose.
Well,
And
this
you
will tell
know
you,
she didn't react.
This
And
will
if
tell
I
you how
had,
committed I am
would have
right
said
here.
so.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
there's
she wasn't
See, and there's
married.
the key. You
I'm
won't quit something you really don't want to. So that's where people say, well, why can't I quit smoking? Well, one, if you're trying to override the pattern, and you have to get, I've had story couple, I think this happened about 6-7 years ago. Guy comes to me and, hands me the $300 for the session. And he's like, the whole time he spends the first 10 minutes telling me, my wife had me come here. He didn't come here for, because that's one of the first things I asked him, why'd you come here? Oh, she just keeps nagging me. She's been nagging me. And I said, okay. And he's so convinced it didn't work. And I said, all right, well, just go home. What? I'm actually using a pattern. What do you mean? I said, well, thank you for the money. And, you're determined it's not going to work. So just go home and tell her you're right. He's all stops from, well, wait a minute. That's not the way this works, right? You're supposed to do it. I said, no. I said, if you're not wanting to go into a hypnotic trance and you're not going to, plain and simple, I'm not going to sit here and force you to do something you don't want to do. So thank you. We'll spend the next, 30 minutes talking if you want, and go home, just tell her it didn't work. And he stops and he's like, wait a minute. But I said, no, you don't want to quit smoking. Well, no, actually I need to, he starts talking. So I reframe it for him basically through his own conversation. I get him to say, I need to. And he starts thinking about all the things that are going to happen to him. And he wants to spend he doesn't think he's going to be around another 5 years. Before it was all, I smoke for this reason because I like. I said, well, we can sit here all day long and talk about why you like to do it. And you're going to continue to do it because you're reinforcing yourself.
Right.
You're afraid of all the supposed withdrawals you're going to have. Now, don't get me wrong, because again, people go, wait a minute, don't tell me they're supposed. What I mean by supposed is,
Makes it way worse.
well, and it's
Without-
produced by you. Because listen, guys, if it was the nicotine, it's very simple. That's a real world situation. People wouldn't quit without withdrawals. Have you ever seen? There's someone that really just flips their mind. And I've watched people smoke one day, not smoke the next. They're what I call casual. They'll go out, they'll be with a bunch of friends, like you were talking about your friend. They'll smoke and then they won't touch a cigarette for months. How do they do that? They're not instantly. They are addicted, but they've learned that the main part, the withdrawal symptoms that are really bad, are created. So they've just flipped that part of themselves, not even knowing they do it. They've said, I want to turn it on. I want to turn it off. and that's what it'll
That
do.
makes
Yeah, I
sense.
tried to quit
Yeah, it
before,
does.
but
'Cause-
my biggest thing is I actually enjoy smoking.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
I need to quit and I want to quit.
Yeah.
You know,
I
same with-
enjoy
same with
a
Mountain Dew,
good cigar.
You know,
I enjoy a good cigar for a little bit. I'll have
Right.
one maybe
Right.
every 6 months or so.
have you ever had one of mine?
What?
Did I ever get you any cigars?
What?
Hmm.
Oh, I'll get you some.
Oh, you
And
got it?
hence this what during the 80s
Oh, yeah,
and even
sure.
part of the 90s, there was a lot of hypnotists and a lot of smoking places that basically they went in, they said, "Oh, cigarettes taste like shit." They gave all the negatives, and that's the reason there wasn't a high degree of change, and a lot of people didn't quit smoking. I think they had like a 30% success rate among all of them, and that's why. Because one, your mind already finds it pleasurable, okay, even though it did taste like shit the first time. So yes,
Yeah.
it does. But you told it. Now I tell people, and it's funny, whenever I tell a smoker that, I said, if your mind is powerful enough, do you accept that? To take a situation that your body totally tried to reject and it hated it. I don't think anybody I've talked to said, "Oh, I really enjoyed my first cigarette." Well, then why'd you smoke another one? Okay. You completely overrode that experience and now made it into something you crave. That same power can do the reverse for you as well. Okay. Because that wasn't the cigarette. That wasn't the nicotine. That was your mind creating a power that made you crave something that your body can't stand. And now it makes you crave it because that's what you told it to do. You want this pattern. You want this in your life.
My stepdad did that shit, fucking made me smoke the whole pack. I think I did it just to freaking piss him off. I waited an hour after I went to my room and I yacked right in my pillowcase. I'm not lying. I threw that shit out the
But
window.
you still had
just
the
so he
pattern
could-
underneath it to be cool or whatever reason you were wanting to do it at that point.
Yeah.
Right.
And like I said, once you develop a pattern, just saying, "Well, I don't want that pattern anymore," for most people, it's not going to disconnect. Again, you're trying to fire that person. You have to give it another job. You have to reason with it and say, "Well, yes, thank you for doing this. I wanted that at that time. Now I want you to do something else." Okay. And you can switch it to, I've had somebody, I had them. It's funny. I had them. One says, "Well, I like suckers," so we turned it into craving for suckers. She's like, "I went through a box of 100 count of suckers in 3 days. I need to go through this." So we switched it to something else.
Yeah, that's a lot of suckers.
She says, "But I'm literally addicted. I get the same withdrawals if I try and stop the suckers that I got." She goes, "How possible? They don't have any. They don't have any nicotine in them. They don't have anything."
The
So
most
it's not
important question would be, was her boyfriend or husband happier after that or not?
like- I didn't ask her.
Was she better?
Well, here's the real reason I would like him to quit smoking.
Okay.
It would save me a whole shit ton of money.
Oh yeah.
And I'm only kidding. I love this guy to death, man. He's a good dude.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
Want to go have a cigar?
You just don't.
Actually, yep, it's about
You
break
just,
time. I gotta
you
check
just
this
don't. You
battery
just
up
don't
here.
know.
Yeah, we're gonna take a break and we're gonna do this. Like,
All right. Yeah, we'll take a little break here. Play
This is
some
gonna be
music
like
for you
one of them
guys.
cold
So
commercials.
if you got a friend that wants to quit smoking, I would say have them tune in because guys,
Yes.
I charge quite a bit of money just to do exactly
Yes.
what and to talk about what we're talking about right now. If you come take one of my non-smoking seminars, this is what you pay for: is this
What we're
information
gonna
and
do
this
is-
routine that we're going to go
See,
through.
I've got two people that
We're-
need to desperately.
Yeah.
Yeah, my brother
Yeah.
and my wife.
Mhm.
And both of them said, "Hey, if it works for you,
Okay.
You're the guinea pig.
I'm the guinea pig."
It will work for anybody. It's a matter of
Yeah.
sometimes
Oh, yeah.
I've had to have people come back because they said, "You know what, I really wasn't my right mind." I realize that now. They come back a second time and then we approach it even a different way. And some people
I
do
did-
it
I did
like that.
acupressure once,
right.
and the first time it worked for about as a dog.
See what there?
I mean,
Okay.
I was like, I thought I was gonna die.
Yeah.
8:35.
You know, my head started pounding. I got some upset in my stomach. I mean, it was a crazy.
Whatever
I
you
overcame that in about
we're
20
going
minutes
back
with my
20
third
minutes
cigarette.
At 8:35.
And there's the thing:
You
you
know,
overcame it.
Yeah.
You created it. So,
Yeah, exactly. That's why I was correlating that. But I
We're
mean,
gonna
it's
see if,
yeah, my wife has tried several times, and my brother needs
See, everybody else who tried to hypnotize me, I don't trust
He's having a
nobody,
hard
but he's a
time.
good dude. So
quit.
20
So, yeah,
minutes,
no,
assholes. Are we gonna do that
we'll get
C40C
some,
thing?
people here, get some cash flow.
Yeah, I'll play some of those commercials.
You already started songs or what?
Oh no, not yet.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, man.
Oh, you want to do? Oh, you want to get?
You
Okay.
change up the cravings
Buzz, yeah,
more
yeah, let's go.
or whatever
Okay.
to substitute.
and you don't even have to. Here's the whole thing: if you actually get to the pattern, and Bob switches his job, you won't have cravings because the new part of his job is to switch whatever you want. And with him switching, he just says, "Okay."
Okay, a couple of weeks ago, what I was asking, because number one, I gotta stop the soda too.
Mhm.
Okay. I'm
You got
my backstory. I'm a professional driver. Have been aside from being a musician, but I can no longer pass my
It's in the truck.
There you go.
Yeah, the battery's charged up too.
my diabetes.
The extra battery.
2 problems: smoking and hunting.
Mhm.
I can stop those. My health is going to get a lot better.
I can show you how you.
But I haven't
you
had
can, Are you a type 1 or type 2 diabetic?
Two.
Or, okay. I
And
can show you many people that through just a simple body change. And there's a book out there. I recommend everybody reading it because it is great. And that's the one I told you about before. It's written by Dave Champion. You can look him up, and it's called Body Science. And it is the most realistic, down to earth. And he puts very complicated things into layman terms, just like I kind of do with the hypnosis. He does with the human body and physiology. I'll tell you what, everybody should read it. It would basically eliminate most chronic disease in the U.S.
Yeah, those are my two main things. If I can get those under control, I'm perfect. You know, because I've done it. I quit for
Well, we're
like a
gonna
week, my
find
blood
out.
pressure stuff. I
here
got my
in there.
glucose
Here,
down.
It's
all
gonna
that
be
kind
I'm
of
gonna grab
stuff.
the cord.
I haven't been able to
All right,
withstand,
guys. We'll be back here in just a minute.
life's issues and problems and all that kind of crap. But and another thing I asked a couple of weeks ago when you guys it's been about a month.
You guys see all that
is,
fucking pretty right
can you
there?
help with music, writing music and stuff?
Your creative centers, yeah, you can stir anything. See, and it's all when we get to, because like we said, in the cognitive mind, you're tying up most of your processes anyway, and because we're worrying, we're tying up, and those connections stay active. Okay. A lot of the time when I take everybody, I make a simple suggestion: take out the trash, get rid of anything that doesn't concern this moment or something that's helping you create.
Get me, dog.
And that's why,
Well, she
and
owns half my stuff.
Huh?
She owns half my stuff.
Yeah.
So I can't do that.
Mhm.
You said get rid of.
Oh shit!
I'm talking about your neural connections now.
The baby gotta go. You're too much stress on me.
Oh, that's funny.
So, yeah. Luckily, she's asleep right now. Otherwise, you'd have the phone would be going nuts because I know she'd be watching.
Wait, what? Yeah.
But yeah, that's those are the things that I've been doing with that particular those two things, smoking and sodas.
Mm.
You know, it drives my family. It's nuts. You know, it really does. It does.
I quit.
Two of them
I
quit.
quit soda cold turkey years. I've never smoked. I've never drank, anything like that. But yeah, I was really bad on sodas. And then when I found out how bad sugar in your diet and some of the things soda actually does to you, cold turkey just quit it.
Yeah.
See, I
I'm
like
kind
drinking
of the
soda.
same way. I'll have a soda once in a while.
Yeah, I will
every
too.
once in a
But
while.
it's an extra.
That's
Right.
It's
what
not a
that's
part
where
of
I
my
wanna be.
daily
Huh?
life.
Did you
Yeah.
have it?
And you know what?
No,
I appreciate it more. Like
Yeah,
for some
yeah,
reason,
yeah.
anytime I go get Taco Bell, which I don't eat a lot of fast food at all, but when I do get Taco Bell, I crave. But that's acceptable. It's an acceptable craving. It doesn't go into my everyday life.
Mm.
I like it with spaghetti also. Weird reason. I don't know. I just like the taste of soda.
No wine
with
with
that.
spaghetti?
Huh?
No wine with spaghetti? Gotta have wine with spaghetti.
Well, that's in the sauce.
Some sauces.
No.
Some
Sure,
sauce.
Depends on who's cooking for you.
Right.
Well, I'm gonna go out and smoke.
All right. We'll do that.
Yeah, we'll be back.
We got music playing, so
I'm
we're all good for a while.
Super interested in this because, yeah, like I say,
Have you ever had a susceptibility test?
No.
No? I'll come back in. I'll give you one real quick.
like I say, I'm just, I have a serial killer kind of mind.
Which means
I
I've
could go off
interviewed
at any
and I've
given
actually
point.
hypnotized some actual serial killers. So.
That's awesome.
You have, really?
Yes.
Holy
Did you
shit.
stop them from doing what they were gonna do?
It helped them get control of their urges and gave them a lot more understanding of why they felt the need and compulsion to do what they do. So
So I can stop thinking about killing and just stalk.
You just that's what you need.
Because I
You
really
need
like the
both.
stalking part.
Oh, the stalking parts. That's the fun part. That's the fun part.
we helped them learn how they developed, that it got to that point.
Yeah.
It's just like right now I've actually had a thing out trying to get the government for a couple of years because they say that pedophiles are just born that. No, they're not. Absolutely, they're not. It's a
You're
pattern
right.
like anything else. If we get in and learn how to destroy the pattern, then there can be real help for people that
Right.
develop it. They're not
Right.
just sick; they've developed a sick pattern.
Right.
But that doesn't
Yeah.
mean that they're and it can turn into like smoke craving or anything else. They actually, the more they think about it, it's like I don't want the cake. I don't want the. Well, I tell
Yeah.
people the problem is in that take off the don't.
Right.
Take the don't out of the sentence, and that's what your mind's actually hearing.
Mhm.
I want the cake. I want the cake. I want the cake.
Right. Oh yeah, it makes that
It
makes a lot of
doesn't deal
sense.
with the nots and don'ts and all that very much.
Right.
It really doesn't.
Oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But yeah, it's just actually since we last talked. I mean, I felt a lot better, but all month last month I was just exhausted.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
And your
it's just
fatigue can come from a lot of things physical too. But
because the month before I wasn't really that tired before, but then I mean, there's a lot of the retrograde things of astrology things and stuff. And I'm just like, well, I know it's there, and I know a lot of it's true.
If you read it and you believe it,
right,
your body will produce it. It
right.
really will.
And I think that's what happened, because when I read it, because there was 3 people that I know that I trust had said that, and I'm like, I guess that's why I'm getting so tired.
Have you ever dealt with physiology exercises? Have you ever done any? No, because watch. I mean, we don't realize a lot of times we're having a thought, and then our physiology matches the thought, which actually triggers the emotional and physical response. Okay, so like, watch, do this. How do you sit when you're like right now? You're really relaxed. Okay, if you were to be very alert, right? And let's just say, and I mean, really try and use your imagination for this second, that someone just came through that door. Steve, we found this amount, and you have $250,000 now in your hand. What do you want to do with it?
Hey, hand me that beer behind you. That's where it went.
Where's it at?
Right behind you in that pillow. I was like, I knew I had a second one. I was like, where's it?
I feel it.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm feeling for a glass bottle. Where's that beer at? Huh? So, because your physiology definitely changes, and sometimes just a little bit of change will have an overall effect on your heart rate, your adrenaline response, your adrenal glands, all activate off of very small. So like right now, sit completely straight, like put your back straight, hands in your lap, put your head back, and then put this shit ass eating grin on your face. Now, are you aware? Can you feel the physical change in your body?
Yeah.
See what I mean? Now all of a sudden, watch, change your state, learn to do it. Now put your head down, touch your chin to here, and like lower your tone, and just kind of talk very. See the state change? See the difference? Really go internal, and you'll feel a physical change. You'll feel your heart rate slow. Now all of a sudden, kick back to the other one. Back straight, look up, put that shit-eating grin back on your face. See the emotional change that happens within you? Yeah. Now, what's interesting, if you do this exercise, now I do it, and I literally get a rush. Like right now, I feel like I just popped a drug or something. Literally. Okay, because I've practiced this so much that my body knows instantly. The more you practice that, you can learn to take yourself in and out of any emotional state. You could be fucking depressed as hell and turn around and go, and once you've taught your body to react that way, see, because you've never done that, have you?
No.
Physically changed your state before.
Right.
If you keep doing it, it's now developing a pattern that you can change anytime you want.
Okay.
You're teaching your mind and your body a new exercise. So when you're sitting there changing, even though it knows what this state is, you've never consciously done it, you've reacted to outside stimulus and then said, well, I'm fucking depressed. I'm somber right now. You haven't changed it yourself. And when you do it that quick, and the faster you do the change, the more of a rush you'll feel. So now you could actually be, let's say there's an outside stimulus or something, like I was watching Taz talking about how fucking depressed he is. Well, he doesn't realize he's working at it. Okay? He's been having thoughts in the background playing over and over and over that are fucking telling his body to go in this state. So physiology controls neurology. Okay? Your physical thing will fire different neurons in your brain. That's why when you do this and you smile, even though it's a shitty, you're firing different neurons in a different area that produce different chemicals. You instantly get different releases. You can't do anything but. So now when you train your body and your mind to work together, hey, when I do this, and now you're associating those states, they'll get stronger and stronger and stronger. So you can take yourself. You could be in the middle of a fight. Some motherfucker want to kick your ass, all of a sudden you go, and you'll calm completely down. Or vice versa. You can feel really depressed. You know, I feel so bad. And then all of a sudden just boom, and you'll fire off and you'll feel this. Your emotional state will change instantaneously. So it's funny, when I used to talk to women, I said, I would get this across to women. I said, men, how many times have you ever walked into a room, said something, your lady was in a great mood, and you piss her off instantly, right?
Mhm.
You don't even know how you did it. And then I go to the women. I'm like, women, tell me this hasn't happened. You've been in a killer mood. Your man walks in, says or does something, and you're instantly fucking pissed. And they're like, yeah. Every one of them will agree with me. I said, but here's the thing. Every woman, I said, depending on the severity of his offense, and I said, men, you're going to learn something here. So listen.
Right.
You're in the fucking doghouse automatically for a certain term that she's already predetermined in her mind. This is why everything you do after that is not going to work.
It's never going to be right.
No, because you're
Right.
telling her, she has predetermined. And I said, and what's funny, I tell the women, I said, is you actually go just as fast as you go from happy to pissed, you go from pissed to happy, but it's delayed based on your internal clock of how long he should fucking suffer that retribution that you're going to give him. And it's funny, every woman there will laugh because they realize this is true. Right? They have a preset thing. Oh, he stayed all night with the buddies? Okay. And they may not even cognitively think about it. They're like, I'm pissed at you. I'm pissed. And she will be pissed at you until she's not. And then it'll instantly, bing. It's usually when she wants something. Or
Sure. Right. Yeah.
triggers a different neurology,
Right.
But I said this, and fucking women are like, you're so fucking right. And men are like, I said, guys, the trick is I'm going to show you how you can actually trigger those responses where you interrupt her pattern, and then it'll trigger into a different state. And women are like, no, you're not. No, you're not. What are you doing? And then I start actually counseling. What are you doing? You're keeping him in that state for that. And I understand you, but don't you want to change the pattern too? Well, now you're developing a pattern with him that he knows pretty much after a while too, that he does this. You're going to be mad at him for a certain length of time. I think I told you with Lincoln. Remember, I used to say, go out and say, are you sad? Yes. Okay, see you tomorrow. And I did that over and over, until she finally just said, no. I said, okay, and then we move forward. Because what good to discussing the infraction? I knew I'd screwed up or, whatever. She had her feelings about it. She was going to have her feelings about it until she no longer had her feelings about it. I didn't even try and change her mind most of the time. I just did my time.
Yeah.
Do the crime, do the time. So
Right.
do my time until she wasn't mad anymore. So, and that's how we didn't fight. Because we didn't. She'd get mad. We didn't fight about it. She told me when she was no longer mad, we moved forward.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, definitely. No, we brought the wrong cord for that phone.
Oh. Or didn't I see something about you were wanting a way to put phone calls on the air, right? Is that what you were trying to do?
I think so.
Because have you ever seen the iRig?
I've
got that. And that's what that's designed to do, is it takes a regular microphone cord or whatever, it will plug into any, it takes the out or whatever, and it'll go to any, it has a XLR connector, but then the XLR can go to cord or whatever, and you can hook it into your laptop, or you can hook it into a board, production board, whatever.
Oh, wow.
And
Okay.
then use it as an input, and then they don't have to hear it to the mic. They'll literally, go straight.
Just go straight in. Okay, cool.
So,
yeah.
You just do it as another input. So.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's designed, and it has a preamp on it for that reason. And it has an actual little volume control. I'll get one. They've got it sitting right in the other room.
Oh, okay.
I'll show you what it is. And they're not real expensive anymore. When they first came out, they were costing. Now they're pretty cheap. So.
Oh, yeah.
But I've seen when you do your little interviews, and that's what you want to do is. And if you can just get a splitter, and use for. Watch out, buddy. This is an iRig.
That was an adventure.
That plugs in your phone, and then that's a preamp, and then you can plug that in any combination of. So that in the 3.5 goes in your phone right there.
Oh, okay.
And then you just from there on out.
Oh, that's cool.
You can go to any connection you want from there. What the hell's my other side of it? Because I've got one that goes down to the quarter from there.
Mm-hmm.
Is that it?
Okay.
Yeah, there it is right there. See, like this one I have when I'm putting into. I plug that in. Where you at for here? And then that'll go down to my
3 of these.
1/4 inch or whatever I'm using.
Okay.
What board or.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. Nice.
You have anything? They
Oh.
only had 3 of them.
Oh, that's good. That's fine.
I got for $2.
Oh, okay. Thank you, sweetheart. You're such a doll. Yeah, that's really cool.
So, and you can pick those up guitars or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
But if you want to use one night, let me know, and then we'll hook it in, and then
Okay.
you can do that and try it, see if you like the audio. They're very crystal clear. I'm really, really shocked at how I mean, most of them, and it just takes a simple 9-volt in here. So, and then you can do it. And what's nice is that it works with, look, it even works with phantom mics. It'll provide 48-volt power.
Oh, wow.
So,
oh, nice.
so yeah, you can put it into
That's
your,
really cool.
it actually works as a thing, like say you were broadcasting just from your phone.
Uh-huh.
You can actually use a thing as an in also.
Oh,
So
okay.
you can take this, connect it into a control board, and then, you could use that as input to your phone. So like that's a way that you could connect. I could take a regular like boom mic, hook into this, plug it into my phone, and broadcasting with a boom mic from my phone.
Oh, okay.
So you see what I mean?
Okay.
So if you're gonna like he does for Facebook and all that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that would be great.
Yeah.
For
These things are amazing.
that.
I love them.
Oh, yeah.
And the volume control and the boost, very, very clear with very, very low interference. So.
Cool. Yeah, I'll have to get one of those. Definitely.
Yeah, still.
Okay.
And then that tells me the 48-volt power is on. If I move it to the other selection, then it goes up.
Okay.
But the thing to have a phantom power and something this small, we used to have to carry a small board with us and a phantom powered it and
Right.
gas, but for low and fucking audio is fantastic.
Oh, yeah. That's great. Yeah, because I got a couple more mics that are just as good as this Yeti.
Yeah.
That I could do that, have that, hook that up with a boom mic, and that would, that'd be great.
Mike, will you tell Adam that I took a cup of his ice
Okay.
and that it's in the drawer in the freezer?
Okay.
Favor. Tell him he's not getting no
Have I ever
change.
given you susceptibility tests? I did, didn't I? With the fingers?
Yeah.
I did the fingers?
Yeah, we did it last week.
That's what I'm going to do there. Oh, no, I know I did this, but I do the magnetic with the string and going together?
No, we did this one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's not a susceptibility.
No, I did the
This is here. Why don't you take your hands, grip them together like this, push your palms together like you're trying to squeeze something between them, lock your thumbs down over each other. Now take your hands, put them in a prayer-like motion. Take your index fingers, put them about an inch apart from each other. Apart. Now stare right between them, not at me. Just imagine we're going to take a string and tie it around there. Just a moment, those fingers are going to come together all on their own. See, try and keep them apart. Try and keep them apart and watch what happens. Try. Open them back up. Watch. Try and keep them apart. Watch how much they just pull. Just imagine that string getting tighter and tighter. It just pulls. I just grabbed a hold of your subconscious mind, right?
Holy
And
shit.
That's and you'll swear that's pure suggestion.
Right.
That's the very beginning to hypnotic induction.
Wow.
That's the reason I tell people you can just literally keep that on going. That's when I get them stuck together and you'll try and pull them apart. And it's simply me suggesting. Your muscles are reacting. I'm talking straight to your subconscious.
Right.
And there's a 3-step process there that happens very fast. Isn't it amazing how quick
it did? Yeah, because they were just And I was trying to keep them apart. And I was like,
now watch. Tell yourself, you put them together right now. Same thing, because now it's developed a pattern for it. Watch, pull them apart and say, I'm going to try and keep my fingers apart. And watch what happens.
I'm going to try and keep them apart.
I'm going to try. Just keep. That's why I say don't use the word.
You're going to flip him out and you do that.
That's why you don't use the word try when you're trying to.
Right. Yeah, it's true.
Because it says, I cannot do this, prepare to fail.
Right.
It activates a pattern. So basically what we're doing right there, okay, is you're following 3 or 4 commands. Well, your mind has what's called critical factor. Your critical factor is like if someone came up to you on the street and said, Steve, do this, do that. Who the fuck are you, man? Your critical factor is one saying, no, this could be a danger, whatever. And it's constantly evaluating that every 1/300th of a second. Let's say we're sitting here talking. All of a sudden now we were outside somewhere in a public venue. And over here, 150 yards is right, you saw a guy coming with a gun. And, well, the closer he gets, the more your critical factor is going to go, hey, same thing. It's always evaluating what's a danger, what's not, because that's part of your critical survival. Right? This is ingrained in all of us. Well, that part is what questions everything. Okay. And it's actually looking at your safety first. Is this good for me? Is this not good for me? Okay. And it kicks off another part of your mind when it becomes actual, is this dangerous? Well, anytime someone comes up and gives you suggestions, okay, it's evaluating through the critical factor. And that's all we have to do to get to the hypnotic process is bypass the critical factor. Okay. Well, the way I bypass it is just because I said I start off with a suggestive thing.
Mhm.
Hey, let me show you something. Okay,
Right.
so I'm just going to show you. I'm not harming. I'm telling you. I'm going to show you something. Do
Right.
this, do that. The minute you choose to do that,
Yeah.
and you're compliant to 4 or 5 things,
Yeah.
your mind says, okay, you can have
It's
this
safe.
voice.
Right.
It passes it off to your subconscious.
Mhm.
Okay, because what's interesting, I went from what they call indirect suggestion. Okay, put your hands together like this. Push your hands together. Till I said something very direct, and you probably can't even remember what I said.
Hold your fingers or hold your fingers apart.
Huh? Yeah, but I said something right before that. I said something. I said, in just a moment, this is going to happen.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
You
Now,
gotta
what
watch
I'm
your
actually
fingers.
doing is I'm telling your mind, because
Oh.
I said, do this, do this, do this. It's leading to bit. And I said, what's that?
The pizza you said.
Oh, okay, yeah. I said, in just a moment, they're going to come together all in
Oh
one.
no, thank you.
So,
Oh, can you holler at Chris real quick for me?
What, baby?
Can you holler at Chris real quick for me?
Is he out back?
Yeah, he's back there smoking a cigarette. Tell me, to grab the wrong cord.
what do you need a cord for?
To power it up.
Is it an Android? Or?
Yeah, it's an
He
Android.
said, "Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me."
Yeah, well, that's his fault. He knows I have a gray one.
He said, "It's your fault. You got gray hair and that little line."
Thank you.
A little ad lib there, but
Yeah, a little bit.
What?
He said he got you.
I'll give you the crush when we're done.
Black bag. Steve-O,
Hmm?
in the booth. Black bag where the little round table is. There is a Samsung plug in there. What, a Type C? What do you? Okay.
If it's a big flat one, we can go get my red one from out of the.
I have mine upstairs, and then I have like a 30-foot, like regular Android cord for my fucking that was off my Lorax camera.
It's not the. It's got the. It's like the complete oval one, not the flat one. Half round.
So it looks kind of like an O.
Well.
Is it Type C?
Yeah, I have one.
Oh, okay.
I'll grab it for you.
She's not ready to feed.
Yeah, she is. I won't step on your tail, I promise.
Yeah, I'll reach out the tabs and say, hey, come on over if you want to take care of that shit. Get out of the fucking mood.
Yeah. Actually, I'm going to be with him tomorrow. I'll probably bring him by.
Snap into that shit.
Yeah. He's got that stuff going on with. Did he tell you about that?
I figured you had some shit going on.
Paternity stuff. There's some chick that said that he has a kid.
Mhm.
Sent him a picture of the kid. Kid doesn't look nothing like him. Oh, thank you for that.
Oh, I heard him say, it doesn't look nothing like me. He was telling me last time.
Yeah.
Well, you know, that's not always the
That's true.
telltale. Have you seen my son? You need a box.
Huh?
Oh, he's got it.
Yeah.
I didn't know if he needed a box
I
to
need
plug
something
it
to
in.
drink.
Oh, no, I got it.
And, you know,
Oh, I don't know. I have one upstairs. I just pulled that out of the double one. I left the other plug plugged in for it.
I think that's
Which one is this right here?
Want one of these?
Mike.
or tea. I can't drink tea. I'm allergic to tea.
This
Oh.
one
What?
says Evacol on the back.
Oh, yeah. That's my phone. Yeah.
Okay. Because you know what's going to happen? In about 6 hours, it's going to be dead as fuck. And you're like, I don't know where it's at. And
Yeah,
it's
where'd I lay
dead,
it?
so
I know where that was, though. I set it on the seat in there, right?
Okay. Love you.
Love you too.
Yeah, me too.
Here.
She's sweet. Sweet girl.
She can be. She has to go from 0 to bitch for about 3 seconds. You triggered the wrong pattern.
They all can.
Luckily, I have the option. I'm serious.
Yeah, teach me that one.
It comes in
Sleep.
handy.
Uh,
And twice I'm like, what? No, we can't see. Really? Yep.
Yeah.
Just went out.
Let's see. There's oh, yeah, put it. Yeah, but it's all conditioning. I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna practice that. And
It'll
I'm
get stronger and stronger for you the more
Yeah.
you do. Literally, you'll be able to take yourself into any state you want.
gonna
That's your main too. Very
I'm gonna-
relaxed, very,
right. I'm gonna have my
really
brother.
excited.
I'm gonna have my brother do it with me too. Trying to get these. And it's installed. He still doesn't know why he's doing it because he tried doing it again, working, and it happened to him like 2 days in a row. Just he'd be there for a couple hours and then just start to pass out. Just and doctor told him start eating more greens, and yeah, because he doesn't. Only thing they asked him, how many, do you eat any salads? He goes, yeah, every time I have Subway. There's lettuce on there, and that's it. That's his salad.
That's a salad.
I'm like, all right.
Forget the other 20 tons of carbs I'm ingesting.
Right.
I was eating a whole shitload of carbs right here.
Oh,
The whole thing I haven't had any all week. Literally.
it's been a minute since I had a pizza.
I'll have literally probably less than 5 or 10 grams of carb most of the time of day. And it's funny, after I eat them, I can tell. I
Mhm.
feel sluggish. I get sometimes I want to sleep.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's
My body's not used to running on them at all. So
Yeah. Yeah. I went home last night, and I kind of laid there for a little bit. It was about almost 2:00
Ready for
before
the
I
other
actually went to
piece?
sleep.
you eat all that one? Still working on it? We're at the end, huh? No, you eat it, sure, if I give it to you.
There you go. Oh, can you hold it there and tell them 2 minutes?
2 minutes, gentlemen. 2 minutes. Gentlemen, 2 minutes.
There you go. Ready for the next piece? There you go. Eat it.
Yeah, the dog's probably going, God, I'm so
He takes it
full.
real soft. Make sure it's okay. A little tiny bottle of leftover Gatorade. Trying to work. What's the whistle?
I'm gonna start this pump. What's the door, man? I grabbed by the back, so
Yeah.
my dumb ass cut off the thread to come behind. I got nothing but the bag. I'm ready for this shit. I ain't gonna. What I do? Go here. Let me set this up. Get charge it off. God, man, I was like, God damn it.
Yeah.
I got it.
I got a cord on it right now.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I
Did
can
that-
put it on
Yeah,
my
it's
Does
a
that
long
work?
cord. You can.
What?
Did that cord work?
Oh, I got another cord.
Okay.
It's so good.
Yeah, because that was the old one. Right? You got the
Yeah.
new one on this?
Yeah.
Okay. Fuck you, MSN.
Oh, this test is going to give you guys is cool.
Uh-oh.
This little test is going to give you guys. It's going to be fucking cool.
I know the kids want to go back to school, but what? Oh, shit.
It's a susceptibility test. See what state your mind's in.
Yeah.
Look out.
Plus, it shows you something that your body can do that you didn't think it was capable of doing.
For the alphabet.
And don't have to be fucking asleep or anything, do you, Steve?
No, not at all. I was wide the fuck awake. He didn't snap his fingers at all.
That you know of.
No, that he didn't do. I
gotta
know.
see the
I was right here.
I gotta see the video.
Oh, it is. It's on there. It'll be on. Yeah, really.
Trying to never make it. I mean, if someone wants to have a good time, when I'm doing a stage show or something, but you got to remember, that's why the hypnotist is asking them ahead of time. Do you want to come up here and be a star? Do you want to, they're asking, do you want to entertain? So
Yeah.
you're agreeing to it. That's why the people he sees are real hesitant. He'll just dismiss them. He doesn't want them to have a bad experience with
I've
it.
never been an entertainer of any sort. Can't stand the stage. Can't stand the limelight.
No, not dressed like that.
Actually, you're right. Yeah, not just like this.
To be up there and nobody knows who you are.
But that's why I get asked, because they're like, well, I can tell some people are faking. Well, yes, they're not following along. But for the point of an entertainment show, the hypnotist doesn't care.
Yeah.
If there's someone that is just doing it just to follow, he's fine with it. He's like, whatever. Because the whole thing is to entertain. And if they want to just fake it and play along, they're still entertaining. So, he's not up there to convince anyone hypnosis is real.
Right.
He's simply using it to make an entertaining venue. So that's the goal. Sorry, did I interrupt your pizza eating, or did you get it all done? All gone?
So
Good boy. High five. Give me Paul.
It's like, no, I'm busy.
Taurus. Give me Paul. Give me Paul. Give me Paul. Paul. All right.
Nice dartboard, by the way.
Thank you. My power supply went out. I got to try and find one. It's hard to find those Scorpion
man.
9000s anymore.
Yeah.
Really?
I was a AA soft tip player. Played in the championships at the Riviera and shit.
They used to play as a tournament board. They played
When I threw dart, when I would learn how to throw darts, I knew how to throw darts, but when you really get your skill set going, do it on a boat.
I bet.
No, seriously, do it on a boat.
Yeah.
With the real darts, not those. And you're sitting there. We had the dartboard setting up this way in the wheelhouse, so it would dip. We would rock back and forth like this, so we should get the timing just right to throw it just right.
You know what? He's gonna be hypnotized, so I'm getting more over here. Man, actually,
Yeah, just get up a little closer.
You're going to hypnotize yourselves.
okay.
I'm
Actually,
going to take you down
Actually,
that
what
path.
he's got, he showed me something that's really cool. I'm
you
gonna
gotta be
get.
fucking scared almost.
Just a susceptibility. It shows
Yeah.
you that you do not have to be asleep
You know what?
Yeah.
for your subconscious to react to someone else
Yeah. So you ready, man?
in a very convincing way.
Bright light.
You getting blinded then?
And that's a lot less scary if you're awake and it's
Oh,
still,
yeah.
it's still kind of, you're like, what's happening?
It's
How is that
a
possible?
trip. That was a trip. That was pretty cool.
What up, Greta? We got Germany up here, assholes.
Hey, Greta.
Hey, I seen that you guys were protesting all that bullshit. I am glad and really sad at the same goddamn time that my people ain't been doing that.
By the
But
way,
go Germany, and I'm not going
45
to do that
seconds.
straight arm salute, people. Fuck you. You ain't get me on that one, bitch.
40
what up,
seconds.
Kimberly? Okay, what? How many seconds?
35.
Okay.
don't
What
step
up,
on
Danny?
Don't step on the dog when you come back.
Yeah.
He's right
What?
under the
Yeah, it's gonna be right underneath your
Right under
foot.
your feet.
Now, does he need to be like
25
sitting on
seconds.
that too? Because like,
No. We'll be good.
okay, well, okay.
We're all good. I'm
What
gonna
up,
turn
Timothy?
this.
I watch for floppers. If one of you becomes a flopper, I'll
I'd
make
be the
sure.
one to do that.
5,
It'll
4,
probably be me. You
three,
know I like to hurt myself.
2, 1. All right, everybody, we're back here at C4OC Radio, Revolution Radio 2 Mondays. You're listening to Captain Steve-O and Caveman Show. We're on YouTube Live as well as on Caveman's Facebook
for
Live.
as long as it's gonna last.
For as long as they're gonna, for as long as
I
they
have a
let,
permanent-
for as long as they let them.
I have a permanent. Hey, you know how they did me, bro.
Oh, I know how they did.
They freaking went back 7 months or 9 months to give me them 2 strikes that night.
So they
we
still
went out.
haven't banned you though?
And then the next day,
Not completely.
the next day, I got another strike.
They're
and
steadily
they gave me
cinching the noose.
They gave
Oh,
me
yeah.
a 3-day ban, and then when I went to go up back on after the 3-day ban, I was on a 7. I'm like, shit, They didn't even, well, I didn't even look for a couple days. And when I did look at what post it was the one they had given me the 3-day ban for. Now, wait a second. You guys take my shit off without giving me a ban.
That's like double
They
double
double- yeah.
standards.
So, yeah, I'm pretty sure. And now my thing, after I posted my comeback poster yesterday, the little kitty poster, F you effing asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah, an hour later, now whenever I go on my Facebook, there's this thing on the bottom. It's like account warning or something. So basically, they're like, "You're gone."
We're
And
we're,
fuck you,
we're
Facebook.
watching
I've
you.
got to tell you.
Countdown, yeah.
We're
F
watching
you,
you.
Facebook and Zuckerberg. Just for
Yeah.
you. As you guys seem to mess with me less when I say that more too.
You know what's funny? A friend of mine the other day, because Zuckerberg put out that thing that said anybody that claims hydrochloroquine is we will automatically remove it. So he put up a post that said exact word for word that
And they took it
hydrochloroquine is
down?
a clean, and they've left it. It's been there for
What?
days now. Yeah. So, and he tagged Mark Zuckerberg in the post.
I didn't know I could do that. Oh shit!
Oh yeah, you do that. Just
He's
a
one of
little
your friends,
hashtag Mark
Hey,
Zuckerberg.
I'll be seeing
He's
you
one of your
soon,
friends.
asshole.
That's
Oh, yeah.
part of it.
Well, the big
Yeah.
thing is to me is everybody that's gotten screwed around by this. And I mean, listen, dude, I don't care if you like a president or a party or not. When they can do that to a president and and his son also, just take their shit down and show me the doctor, not the one that's getting paid and owns hydroxychloroquine and remdesivir. Show me a doctor that ain't that dude that says that it's a 70-year use medicine. And I seen a poster actually that was from like 15, 16 years ago. If you were going over to a place that has malaria, you or your kid, they would tell you to take it every day, a week before you went, and take it while you're there.
Yeah.
It had some weird, it was a weird side. Only one thing it said on this that it had a bad deal with, and it was something kind of common, but kind of
Side effect.
yeah.
Yeah.
But that was the only thing. And I mean, it's full pulsar and all this. It's been in use for over 70 years, man. And they're treating it
And it's
worse.
so inexpensive. Too.
And
Yeah.
that's
Oh, yeah, that's
another
the thing.
part of it. But
I think that's wise because it's so
I think it's
inexpensive.
like a $12 cure. They said.
This is the
Basically,
thing is-
the amount
yeah.
that you need is $12.
if you don't do the ICU
So
thing,
we
see,
have to
that's
plan a
that,
trip to Panama.
yeah. There's
Take it
places
away
that give it to you over the counter.
Some
There's
place,
a couple
I forget
countries.
one of the states I just saw just deregulated it again.
Uh,
I forget which one it
The,
was.
well, the one that was trying to completely ban it. I
Right,
think
right.
they flip flopped on it. But
It'd be
yeah,
interesting to see where it goes. in
my
the
thing
end.
is you guys are
Yeah.
trying to tell me about this vaccine. You don't know shit about it with this new thing and time out, but you won't even recommend a 70-plus
just-
year safe medicine. You're like talking against it.
well, and
But
that's
you want me to take this new thing that you're going to
the
even do
biggest thing
less
that bothers
testing
me
on.
that most people are not aware of, and I think we mentioned that once before on the as whatever your feelings are on vaccines, okay,
Mhm.
is anything they rush to market and it's not had that is you cannot. I don't care if you suffer death, if you get
You
things-
can't sue
you
them.
can't sue them. They passed a law.
Year or two. Now they do some testing, but they still know. And you know who does pay the money for that? I did find out. I'm like, cases that are brought against it are settled. It's like, wait a goddamn second. That's a pretty big number there, buddy. But we pay for that. And it's like, okay, so you guys make trillions of billions of dollars on hard-on pills and hair pills. Nobody cares, man, on anything. Every pill, and they know shit's going to happen. But after 5 or 6 years, 7 years, till somebody can finally prove it,
Mhm.
they've made trillions of dollars, and then they fight the class action lawsuit for years, and then they pay out a couple $1 billion or not even a quarter of what they earned at that point. It's like there's no incentive. But with the vaccine, you can't sue them. So basically, and now with this Rush one, they've made them sign new paperwork with that same clause in it. And it's like, wait a second.
I've been getting a lot of blowback even in my, I'll tell people about their health all the time, living proof that I can overcome things. Doctors, I should have been dead.
yeah, you had some
21
real
years
shit.
ago.
Oh yeah.
ALS and cancer here that I've had for 10 years.
Yeah, my grandmother died.
But-
You can't sue your drug dealer, and all of us and most people that I know have taken enough drugs and shit like that should have killed them or could have killed them years
Right,
ago
right.
anyway.
Right.
So what's the difference between a vaccine?
Well,
shit in your
because this is
system all the
supposed to be medical bullshit, and that other is recreational garbage. And if you do it,
It's still garbage.
It's still.
Well,
it's-
after
it's
last
still a
week's
drug
show,
you're
I
gonna be
actually
buying.
got someone that sent a thing to me and was asking me, "Oh my God, you're gonna." They called Wim Hof a witch doctor type.
What
I said, the guy, the Iceman.
oh yeah,
Remember I was
okay.
telling me, and
Yeah.
his whole thing. The guys, I don't know. Some people just like to make comments without doing any research for themselves.
Right.
Because
This
they
man
heard it.
submitted himself
Mhm.
to scientists 2 doctors under a controlled study. He brought 10 people in that he trained in his techniques. And the science, they don't know, they can't sit and tell you how it happens, but they know what is happening. And they gave him, like I said, endotoxins, which if you take a thing endo, you'll feel nauseated, you'll get extremely sick very quickly. His students and the people he's taught just his breathing technique, and it doesn't happen. Their nervous system does not react to it. The doctors even went, this isn't possible. Well, obviously it is possible, but they just want to say it's not possible. And they thought at first it was just something about his blood. He's been in his blood. Samples have been injected with all, and they've watched it under the microscope. And it literally, the virus don't even penetrate the cells. The virus does. It goes in and replicates in the cell. It doesn't happen. And he's been injected with all Ebola, stuff like this. Doesn't react in his blood. He said this is something that's inherent in all of us. And he's taught other people to do it as well. And they've done the same thing with their blood, seen the same reaction. So he said, this isn't just me, because at first they thought it was something genetically different about him. No. He said this technique, and it's funny because we've been taught, no, it has to be a pill. It has to be some big, how can a breathing technique bolster your immune
treatment
system?
for the rest of your life that we're going to buff milligrams up on, or whatever the case
It's a dart. They throw darts at stuff. And if you really think that's how most doctors act now, is they go in, oh, well, what's being promoted? Well, I've heard this drug does it. Let's throw it and see what happens. And here's all this list of fucking side
And they're
effects.
taught this.
And you're going to
from
play
school.
Russian roulette with your damn body to try and get rid of this one problem and develop 28 possible more.
Right.
And they are taught this in all the medical schools. I mean, there are some things that they don't talk to them, but I mean, they discuss more about narcotics and prescriptions now, pharmacology. That's like a bigger part of their whole deal.
They have a
schooling
6-week thing, is what I heard. Basically, nowadays, American doctors have a 6-week thing.
Straight.
Any type of, and it's brushed by. It really is.
Well, you go to me being diabetic, I go to 5. You go to 5 different doctors. All 5 doctors will give you different aspects because they have no idea exactly how
And that's
why,
who's
when
giving them a golf
to
trip.
treat, or they don't know. They have no idea.
And
how
they
to
tell
take
you
care
that
of
once you become an insulin diabetic, you can't get off. I know people right now that have completely reversed it. They're now no longer diabetics.
Well, I mean, you had real bad news that obviously you fixed yourself, because
they told me I'd be dead in 18 months. And he goes, no ifs, ands, or buts. Now, like I said, that's why I call that oncologist every year on the dot, on the anniversary of that. And I said, I'm still alive.
What's he say?
I'm still alive, you prick. He laughs because it's a reminder to him. I told him, don't ever give somebody a number, because that can work. That suggestion. Believe it or not, can be powerful. Yeah, absolutely. He laughs. He knows now I'm living through. And I've taken no treatments, no conventional treatments at all. I've dealt with some CBD oils and stuff that help me shrink, but most of it I've done with a visualization, same as I've used to control the ALS over the years. So and visualizations are powerful, people. Your mind, same as we talked about, it's your way of communicating, because that's what you're thinking about when you dream. It's a visualization. And you're reacting to it like it's real. Because again, you're sympathetic, and asympathetic does not know that your parasympathetic nervous system does not know the difference between real and imagined. There's no differentiation in your body of when you're thinking about something that happened 30 years ago, or if you're thinking about it's happening in the same place and your mind is reacting to it like it's happening to you right now. So,
and that's why so many more of us get sick now too. I remember the food pyramid when I was a kid, and then all of a sudden I guess they wrecked that because there was a bunch of, and I didn't even hear about it. And now I don't know what the
it's exactly basically the opposite.
Yeah,
it's big. Your high fat diets is what you want. 75% fat, and I know everybody gets
animal meat.
It's proven. I can show you the blood work and the science behind it. A good friend of mine, and he in that body science, that Dave Champion wrote, and he's been doing the blood work. And I use the word keto because I've seen some keto diets out there that are completely ridiculous.
They're not know what that
true
is. I
keto.
heard it a million times.
Yeah, it's basically your body runs off of 2 things. Okay, your body and your brain are going to run off of glucose, or they're going to run off of fats. That's it. Doesn't know any. Well, most of our diets are fats, and when you get into the physiology of what it does in the body, okay, well, they've told you, well, just like fruits. Oh, eat tons of fruits. Well, fruits are high in sugar.
Yeah.
Carbs, things they turn into sugars in your body. That's the glucose your body's running off of. If you deprive your body of one, it shifts to the other. Why do we gain so much weight? Because we're eating fats along with we're running off glucose. So when we get the fats, our body stores it. Okay. And then what happens, because here's a big thing nobody realizes when your body's running on nothing but ketone fats, is when you get hungry, you don't experience a hunger like you do. And almost everybody, if you feel a blood sugar dip, your blood's not supposed to do that. Okay. Your blood sugar's not supposed to take a dive. Okay. That's not the way your body's designed to run. And that's why you get sick, you feel nauseous. You know, anybody that's hypoglycemic can tell you it feels like you're going to die. Okay. That's not how hunger is supposed to feel. That's actually because your body's running off of glucose. Well, that's your blood red and your mind's going, hey, wait a minute, we need fuel. Okay. Well, there's no natural switch because you got to take in more sugar. Your body's not producing it. Your body doesn't produce that. Okay. Now your body does produce when you have ketones in your system, you're producing. And now when you're running off of fats and you don't take any intake, your body needs fuel. What does it do? It burns the fat you have. Okay. That's how our fat was originally designed to work. It just switches over. You don't get that dip in blood sugar because it's not your blood sugar. You're not working off of glucose. Okay. Very simple science.
Yeah, that's what
they
I
want to
was
make it
gonna
all
say.
complicated.
This
It's
seems
not.
so simple, and I was just thinking
You
about
run off of
everything
two
they've
things.
taught me over
So
the
that's
years.
the way ketosis works. What they call the process is you deprive your body of sugar and carbs because your carbs turn into sugars in your body. Okay. And you want a high fat diet. Now they will Dave, if you want to, Dr. Reality is his channel. Look it up. He has everything. I don't want to sit here and teach you all about, but the man has all the blood work behind it. He just went even thing for prostate, and he wrote this whole book based on most underlying conditions. Most chronic disease is caused simply by us and these sugar diets.
Did Amazon let him sell it?
Oh yeah, everybody.
Really?
Yeah,
I was just curious.
Oh,
yeah. He
I
says.
was just curious.
Oh, so we got to do this test.
Okay, yeah.
Oh,
It's-
So what we're gonna do? This
it's really
is a
cool.
susceptibility test because I know everybody's thing about hypnosis and getting to the subconscious mind is that you have to go. And this is when you're in the subconscious mind. No, it has nothing to do with sleep. Even though, as I've said many times before, and no need to adjust your televisions or your computer screens, I'm really just that white.
No, it's just because I'm the darkest.
I know there's people like, oh, you're so white. No, it's just.
He actually
And with the
looks like
light
an
right here,
islander.
it's at worst. That's why I don't swim in the ocean because sharks can see me for 50 miles. I'm like the beacon in the water. So.
Damn, Hans. Hey.
Yeah, you go.
Just adjusted it.
Yeah, actually, it gave us a lot better light.
Okay.
I think. I don't know.
It did, and it ain't as hot
Yeah.
either.
So, and it's not sitting in your face. But anyway, what we're going to show right now, okay, is, and I'll explain it to you a little bit after it happens. Both of you just follow along with my instructions. Take your hands like this. Link your fingers together, interlock them. Push your palms together like you're trying to squeeze a little pit or something in there. Lock your thumbs down like that. Put your hands in a prayer-like motion, and if you want to make one, now's the time. Put your index fingers about an inch apart from each other and stare right between your fingers. Not at me, but
Can't do that. I have to do it.
your index. Well, whichever. There you go.
Kinda, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, now he's gonna
So
stick.
stare right between your fingers, not at me, and we're just going to imagine for a second. Just imagine those fingers start to come in. Just see a rope tying around those fingers. And they're going to get tighter and tighter. You're going to really imagine it in your mind. Just see that string getting tighter. Just a moment, those fingers are going to come together all on their own. The harder you try and keep them apart, the more they come together. Just see that string drawing tighter and tighter and tighter. Same thing. So yeah, yours you're bent. Now, literally, try and keep them apart. Think about keeping them apart and watch what happens. Just see that string, though, getting tighter and tighter and tighter. Isn't that interesting? How can a body part do
They're
something
going,
you're telling it?
I was trying. I was like,
Exactly. And here's what happens. Even this is why I tell people when you say, and I say, try and keep them apart and find you can. Okay. It's actually a double instruction. I'm going to tell everybody exactly how this works because that's actually the beginning of what you call hypnotic trance. Okay. What I'm doing is bypassing the critical factor. Right. And for what we call hypnosis or trance or meditation or whatever label you want to put on to get to the subconscious part of the mind, to talk to it directly, all you have to do is bypass the critical factor. Okay. Now, the critical factor is like it's a very integral part of your mind. It's part of your cognitive, your thinking up here in your prefrontal cortex that says, is this a danger to me? Is this going to harm me? Okay. And it's evaluating this 300 times a second. That's how someone can throw a ball at you and you know to jerk. Your prefrontal cortex, your critical factor is evaluating many, many different things all at once. Well, when someone comes up and says, hey, want to kind of disarm you a little bit by saying, let me show you something. Okay. So you open learning statement, right? You're going to learn something. So you don't take it as a threat. Now, your mind is running so many processes. Now, what are you doing? Put your fingers together, interlock. I'm giving you commands. Okay. I'm commanding your mind to execute something. All right. In your muscles. So we're making a mental neural link with your muscles. All right. And I'm constantly firing instructions. You don't even realize that I'm going from passive instructions, like put your hands together like this, link this. After you follow 4 or 5 instructions, your critical factor actually says, hey, I'm going to go back to this is not harmful. You can listen to this voice. It passes it off to your subconscious. Okay. I actually said it in a very sequenced events that I increased the level of what I was telling you. And I went from indirect suggestion to direct suggestion. Okay. When I said in just a moment, can you repeat the sentence, what I said to you? And those words are very important. I said, in just a moment, something's going to happen.
Oh, in just a moment.
I said, in just a moment, your fingers are going to come together all on their own. And it's funny that most people I do it to, it's actually a direct instruction to your, and the fact that it's time-based, okay, tells, and your subconscious at this point has been told what? Okay, you can listen to this voice, basically do what it's telling you to do because it's not harmful, all right? Remember I said that little playful part of you that's just going to, it's going to follow instructions, all right? Now, what you don't realize, everything from that point on is actually an instruction also. Because what did I say next? It was just a very direct command. I said, place those fingers apart. Okay, that's a indirect suggestion. Basically, place those fingers about an inch apart from each other. And I said, just imagine. Okay, well, guess what? When we're directly into the part that controls your imagination anyway, it says, oh, okay. Now, when it's imagined, remember I told you central nervous system and the parasympathetic and doesn't know the difference between real and imagine. So I haven't told you in your prefrontal cortex, I haven't said just imagine this. I've told directly to your subconscious to imagine what I'm going to say next. I'm going to tie a string around that. I'm using descriptive words. It gets tighter and tighter. Well, it, without you even thinking about it, is physically controlling your muscles simply by my suggestions. And you have two little, do you know what an ideomotor response is? You ever play the game as a kid where you take a string, take a ring and hang on it, you think a circle and it starts going in a circle, you think back and forth, it goes back. The reason you never played that game?
I'm gonna have to try for that, goddamn it.
But you can do it. You can hang anything on a string and you'll swear you're not moving. Okay. What it is called ideomotor, which are very tiny little electrical movements in your muscles.
That's how them people, a lot of them fake ass psychics pull shit on people too.
Well, and doing the.
But when
male
you're
and
thinking
female
the
over
circle, it's
over a
actually
pregnant girl.
making your muscles very tiny move in the circle. You can't detect it.
Right.
Okay, same thing there. It's using your ideomotor response directly from your subconscious. When I say, imagine this, and that string gets tighter and tighter, and I said those fingers are going to come together all on their own. It's putting all this together, and it generates the response. It's actually using your little flexor muscles right here, and they can get completely stuck to where you'll swear you can't pull them apart. Okay, simply by suggestion. Because if I suggest to your subconscious in that state that you cannot pull those apart, okay. And I used what's called a double embedded command in there as well. I said, try and pull them apart and find you can't. Okay. Now, when I say when you find you can't, I'm actually giving your subconscious an instruction of what it's going to do. It's going to find that it can't do this. Now, I also said that in the statement before. When I said try and pull your fingers apart, okay? Like if I've told you before, remember I said this is the reason you never use the word try? Because to your subconscious, that means make a plan, a solid plan to fail at doing something, okay? Because if I say, hey, Chris, try and open the door, to process that statement, your mind has to first think, well, why would I not be able to? Okay? It plans for failure. It makes a plan for it. And that's actually the instruction it's getting it. Never use the word try in something you actually want to accomplish because you're actually instructing your subconscious not to do it.
And to me, this sounds all, like this and the way he explains it is perfect to me. That's why I'm comfortable with him.
But that shows you right there, the process that we're about to do right now. Were you asleep? Were you out of control?
Was I, motherfucker?
You weren't. That's
No.
why
I didn't clock, right?
Okay.
No.
But yet I was giving instructions straight to your subconscious and it was following. Okay. And it was controlling a part of your body. It works the same way with the patterns in your mind. If we get to that part. So I don't want you to think, because here's what most people do when they do any type of hypnosis. I'm actually going to run several techniques with you. Okay. And light hypnotic trance may be one of them. Okay. But I don't want
You're the
people
doctor, man.
because you're
You're the mind mechanic.
People think that, like I said, hypnosis is this passed out. That's the state you have to be in, and it's not. You just showed yourself that right there. Okay, that's simply what we're working with. We're keeping it really simple. We're giving instructions to the subconscious. Okay, for years you've told it to run this pattern and press play. What we're about to do is press play and record and tell it to re-record the pattern that you recorded however many years ago. It doesn't care how long ago it was. Okay. Just like a tape recorder, we took one of the old tape recorders and you press play and say, my name is Paul. And then you press stop, press play. From then on, you're going to get that statement. Now, if any time you press play and record on that exact same tape and you say, my name is Paul and your last name, then it's going to, from then on, say that after you press it. And that's exactly what we're about to do now. Okay. We're simply going to tell that part of you that recorded that pattern that you want to record a new pattern in that spot. Okay. So, and it will do it however it decides to do it based on the new outcome you want. And that's the funny thing. I don't have to know what it is. I don't have to know what you want to do with it. Your mind's going to determine because your subconscious mind already knows. Okay. And you've told me basically when we get those centers talking to each other, the creative centers, again, we'll get it to do the same thing with the job. Okay. And there's other ways to put you in that state you were in right there. And like I said, you don't feel physically any different, do you? When you're doing it.
I don't feel
But
like
you
I've
are
been
watching
violated.
your body do something that you're like, take your conscious mind. And there, guys, is where willpower doesn't work. Okay. Because you've given instructions to your subconscious mind, just like the cake. I told people, say, and this is what willpower is based in. I don't want that cake. I don't want that cake. Well, take the negative out of it. Okay. Because really and truthfully, your subconscious doesn't deal in negatives. So if you take the word don't out of the sentence, what does the sentence say? I want the cake. That's what you're telling your subconscious over and over. It goes, oh, okay. Create cravings for the cake. That's why willpower doesn't work. Okay. You're actually giving yourself the instruction to fail because your subconscious is only hearing the positive part of the sentence.
Man, I'm telling you right now, there's like about 12.5 million times I can remember saying, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
And you
So-
do it anyway.
So,
Did it worse.
right. Because you're giving an instruction.
it
One, you're
worse.
thinking about it. You're playing that pattern in your mind. Okay. And that's where we're going to start. Every single thing that you do, pattern that you have is represented visually in your mind and it's stored in a certain area. Okay. Your mind is a filing system, plain and simple. Everything that's bad is in one area. Everything that's good is in another area. And what's funny is when I say the word bad, your mind actually goes to that part of your brain to see some bad things. Okay. And it starts to automatically generate a response before you pull any, because guess what? That's where the bad place is. That's where it's stored. And when I mean, well, people say, well, how do we access it? I think I've shown
Can
you
I
this
empty
before.
it?
Huh?
I don't want to empty it completely.
Well, and it doesn't, here's the thing, but you can reassociate it. Okay. Let's say we had two filing cabinets. One was bad and one was good. Okay. Now, if something was in the bad filing cabinet and I took it out and put it in the good filing cabinet and someone later went and pulled a file open and sees that in there, they're going to know that's a bad file?
No.
Exactly. Your mind doesn't either. Okay. Once you've told it and you actually establish that very quickly, when something in any experience is coming to you, let's say that, you have a girl come up and kisses you. Well, your mind, if you think she's very attractive, it's a good thing probably. If it's not and she's someone that turns your stomach, you've classified it as bad. It starts storing it in a different place automatically right then and there. Stop, dog. the watchdog of the house.
Brutal.
And no matter how much I try and work with his mind, he still thinks he's,
Like,
a big
I
huge
see,
Rottweiler or
that's what
something.
I
Yeah.
want to say.
He
Yeah,
weighs
but
10
that
pounds
filing
soaking wet.
cabinet thing, though, I'm thinking more like Library of Congress.
Yeah. Well, it is, and a lot of people, and that's part
Yeah.
of the reason too, is your bad things that you're taught to worry about, you tend to build up and keep open neural connections with. This is why we can't go to sleep. You experience this thing of heaviness because you're taking on all that weight, and that's exactly how you feel it, as a weight on your shoulders of something, because you're keeping those neural connections open, which are energy. They're actually using a certain amount of energy in your mind. Okay, so here's what I want you to become aware of. In your mind, that same imagination that you used to imagine that string tying your fingers, I want you to think about your first cigarette. And when you think about having a cigarette, it pops up in your head, right? There's some picture. Is it you smoking? Is it you? Do you see a pack? Do you see it lighting it? It's something that
A lot of
represents it
things.
to you. Okay. And what I mean is, see how you just looked down? Did you see that where his eyes shifted? You actually looked at the picture in your mind.
All right.
And what I mean by where is it is when I say, where is it? Do you know where yours is? Go to, so see what he did?
Yeah.
He doesn't even realize. They access it's over here. I can tell you. It popped up right here.
Okay.
Okay. Your eyes, I think they saw it. If you watch his eyes, guys, you'll see when I say, where is it? And I do that to trigger the response neurologically. His eyes track to the point because his neurons in his brain are firing. When I said, where is it? Well, the subconscious knows exactly where that picture is. Even though maybe he can't cognitively recall it, it goes to it. Okay. So I can tell you it's over here because your eyes track it perfectly of where you're representing it in your mind.
Which one
Okay?
is the right side's the one we
Now,
don't use?
smoking right now is a good thing to you, right? Watch this, because it's something pleasurable or something you
Right.
do. I'm not talking about your cognitive mind. I'm talking about why you smoke, because you've linked it to a pleasurable thing. Okay. So it's a good. All right. Now, what's something that you wouldn't do, a food you hate or something that's bad?
Onions.
Onions? Okay. And when you think about an onion, where's that picture come up?
Because of my stupid dad. I don't know.
No, but where does it? Think about the onion and how bad they taste. See what he just did?
Yeah.
It's up here.
That's where you're
okay. For you, what's something bad for you? You don't even have to vocalize it. Just think about it in your mind.
Yeah, it's over here.
Yep. See? Isn't that wild? Now, here's the interesting thing, guys. Now, it's in a different place than the smoking picture stored, isn't it? Okay. Now, watch this. Go to something else that's good for you, that you believe is good for you, something that you enjoy. Okay. With you, it's Mountain Dew. So when you really think about wanting a Mountain Dew, picture that in your head right now. Just let it pop in there. See where it's at? Isn't that interesting? Mm-hmm. Same exact place as smoking is. Okay. Yeah. Do you see my point? The mind is a filing system.
Up here.
Okay. Yep. So now we know, okay, and we can work with the information because, like I said, if we work with the information in the good and the bad, now I want you to both to go to this. Go to the smoking pictures. Okay. Is there a frame around it or no frame around it? Just go to it in your mind right now and look. Is there a frame around it or no frame around it? No frame? Okay. And there's no right or wrong answer. Okay. It's how your mind stores the information. Now go to the bad thing, the onions. Look at that picture. Is there a frame around it or no frame around it?
Fucking Mona Lisa looking frame.
See, there you go. Isn't that interesting how they're different? Okay. And there's no right or wrong answer. We're just trying to determine because some people, and that doesn't, you ever heard frame of mind? That's where it comes from. Your mind does frame pictures, but some people leave them off. It's no right or wrong. It's how your mind, and what we're trying to determine is how it stores it. Now, do you notice a difference between the pictures? What was the bad thing for you? Oh, you don't have to tell me what it is, but where it was at. When you look back at it, is there any difference in the size or the quality of the picture between that and the smoking one? Okay. What's the differences in them that you can see? Other than obvious the objects or something that are in them.
Just the surroundings around it.
Okay. So you notice now the definite difference in it. Okay. So we'll start with you. What I want you to do is take the picture of the smoking. Okay. And I want you to make it look more in whatever way it does, like the bad thing over there. Okay. So if it's a color or whatever, is it in color, by the way? Or is it black and white? It's in color. What about this one over here? Is that in black and white? No, it's in color also. Okay. So what I want you to do is I actually want you to turn this one. And since it's in color, I want you to see that picture in your mind. And then I want you to blink your eyes off and on. I want you to blink that picture really fast and turn it black and white like it would in old TV when you turn down the contrast. Just blink your eyes, blink your eyes. Okay. Now stop and take that picture and I want you to shift it over here to where the other bad stuff is, the stuff you don't want, don't like, and don't need in your life because you've determined that's where it is. And I want you to just lock it in and leave it right there now. Okay. And now I want you to give me the last four of your social backwards. I know this sounds weird. Just pop it in here. What's the last four of your social backwards?
17.
And that's fine. What we're doing, this is called a pattern interrupt. Okay. What I talked about, building those patterns, and I know it seems weird. You're like, what kind of witch doctor shit is going on here? And it's okay. He was dealing with one set of memories and patterns in those pictures in his head. When I asked him something he knows logically that's a number, and you have the same thing. To see something backwards that you have memorized, you have to see it on a screen in your mind, and you actually go to a logic center. So you're breaking the pattern of the other one. Well, guess what? When you break, now go back to that picture that you had just a moment ago. What's interesting? Where did he just look?
Looked over off to the side where you
looked
before.
Okay. You now didn't access it down here. So when you think about the smoking, do you notice any difference in how you felt just a couple minutes ago?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. See, and then we're
looking that way.
That's because your mind now, it will be there every time you look because you just recorded it. Over there, I had you add information to it, change it in a way you've never played it before. So we were pressing the record button. And when I interrupted the pattern to get you to think about the number, that's where it was. The stop button was pressed. And now that's where it's located neurally in your mind. It literally just switched. And it's now in a bad section.
Because now I want to drink Bacardi.
Huh?
No, he's looking at Bacardi.
So imprint it. So you can do the same thing. This works with anybody, any pattern, guys. If you change the locations and you just identify yourself where a good thing is, where a bad thing is, or where something you want pattern or a negative pattern or a positive pattern. It doesn't matter what the contrasts are. If you switch the location neurally, okay, where they're linked to in your mind, you'll have a different outcome. Because guess what? How do you feel any feeling you have? We like to say, well, so-and-so made me feel this way. No one makes you feel anything. They can't. It's impossible for me to inject feeling into you. I can give you a stimulus, okay? I can tell you a sad story. I can call you a nasty name. I can try and elicit a response. The response is because you think a certain way about that. And that thought runs a pattern that generates what you call an emotion, okay? And this is where we get into the control level. Now, we're taught even patterns of how to rest. Someone comes up to something nasty, we're supposed to what? React angrily. Well, guess what? You don't have to. Okay, you have all these anger management classes. And it's funny, I've told people, you want to take an anger management class, I can come to you and teach you how to redefine your anger pattern in a matter of about 5 minutes through a conversation, and that's it.
Not years and years of therapy and say, well, you might
Exactly.
be there
How does that make
2
you
years
feel?
after you die.
Well, the same way it's made me feel for the last number of years I've thought about it, because I've built that pattern. And it's amazing how many psychiatrists and psychologists I've run through this, and then I'll show them, some of the, and this is just one of the first techniques to work with. This is an NLP technique, okay? Neuro-linguistic programming. We're using language, linguistics, okay? And we're neurally programming a response through the exact same way you learned that response in the first place. You take something in, you make a decision, is it good or bad? And based on that decision is where it files those associations, okay? Pictures, words, sounds, etc. Okay? So you do the same thing. You the picture of the onions, okay, that's something you really hate. You just detest fucking onions.
Yes.
Okay.
My stepdad tortured me with it.
Okay, there you go. So it's something you can't stand. So go to your picture of the smoking, and you know where that was, okay? What I want you to do, same thing. Is it in color or is it in black and white?
Smoking was in black and white.
It's in black and white. Okay, so for you, I want you to blink and make it I want you to turn down the contrast like you would on, those old televisions where it's kind of light and you can really see it well. So go to that picture in your mind. And what I want you to do is blink your eyes. And as you blink your eyes, really quickly, blink those eyes, blink them. See the picture, concentrate on the picture, but just blink them. And then just turn that contrast down where it's getting darker, darker, darker. And when it gets really dark, I want you to move it over here to where the onions are. Okay, so open your eyes. Just physically move that to where the onions are. And then just leave it right there. Just set it in along the same files of those onions and everything else, okay? Now give me the last four. What's the cell phone number? What's the last four backwards?
Oh, shit. 4570.
Yeah, see, and you had to see the picture of the cell phone number written, right, to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. So now watch, pull up the smoking picture. Where'd it come up? Where's it at? He's having to think about it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, isn't that weird? Now even think about smoking around. Do you feel any different? Do you feel any cravings?
No, I don't think so.
No?
I do a little.
Yeah? Okay, so we'll go to the next step. Because every one of these is reinforcing it. Remember, sometimes one little thing works completely across the board. Sometimes it's just making that little change, and now you're introducing new patterns, okay? So same thing we did with the hands, okay, like with the fingers. We're now going to do, what I want you to do is just get in a very relaxed, comfortable position. Put your hands on your knees like this. Move the dog. He'll move. He knows. So just relax him. You don't have to be tense. Lean your back against the thing or whatever. You don't have to be like asleep relaxed. Sure, you can do it any way you feel comfortable. And what I want you to do, okay, we talked about those different parts of the mind, all right? What I want you to do is look at the back of your hand, right, and just concentrate right there on the back of your hand and just stare at that for a second. Listen to my voice. And what I want you to do in just a moment, you're going to lift that hand up to here, and as you do, you're just going to let your eyes close, okay? So on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, let those hands lift up. Just pull them up like that. Just let your eyes close completely down. There you go. Just continue listening to the sound of my voice. Now we're going to go in reverse, and that hand's going to go back down. When the hand touches your leg, your eyes are going to instantly come back open. You're going to focus on the back of your hand again, okay? So let that hand drift on back down as easily as it wants to. Just taking the suggestion, and the minute it touches your leg, I want your eyes to just snap open. Just let them pop back open for a second. Okay? So let your eyes open. Okay? Now, keep concentrating on the back of the hand. Lift that hand back up, and as that hand slowly, when it gets to the top, you'll feel the eyes get heavier and heavier as it comes up. When it comes up to the resting point, just let your eyes close again, completely down. Feeling very, very relaxed. And notice that each time you do this, you go a little bit deeper, okay? And by deeper, I mean deeper within inside yourself. Because you notice the minute your eyes close, your attention and focus goes from outside to inside. You become more internal, and that's where we're trying to get is go just deeper in your thoughts within yourself. So in this state, every time the hand comes up, I want you to go just a little bit deeper. Deeper still. Become more relaxed. Take a deep breath in now. Hold it for 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release that out and let that hand just drift on back down now, slowly going down. And when it touches that leg, just have your eyes just pop back open for just a second. Look at me. Look back at your hand. And now lift that hand up, watch it raise, and you'll see this start to happen just a little bit on its own now. And as it comes up, just keep concentrating. When it gets to the top, just let your eyes just completely close again. Now I want you to do that a little faster now this time, just all the way down. As it goes down, eyes start to open. See the linking we're getting here? There you go. As it comes back up, we're going to go back, shut again. There you go. Feeling very, very relaxed. Just let that relaxation spread all the way down through your body, Chris. Just feeling very, very relaxed, deeper, deeper with every breath you take. You feel more and more relaxed. The deeper you go, the better you feel. And the better you feel, the deeper you go now, just completely relaxing. You're going to tune into that part of your mind. That arm's just going to float effortlessly there now, like it has no weight whatsoever, like there's some balloons just tied to it that just keep it out. Normal fatigue and everything doesn't exist. You just feel very relaxed. With each breath you take again, you go 10 times deeper into your mind, deep down in. And once you see you're walking down the stairway in your mind now, just imagine you're in the center of your mind. And you see that you're walking down the stairway. With each step you take, you get 10 times more relaxed than you are right now. Just feeling completely relaxed, going deeper, deeper. Take that next step now, feeling more and more relaxed. It feels very good. The deeper you go, the better you feel. The better you feel, the deeper you go. Just on down now. Take that next step down. Beginning to see that there's something at the bottom of the stairs down there. However many steps you want, you can just gradually start stepping down them now. All the sounds around you just take you deeper and deeper into a state of relaxation. You're perfectly aware that you're in like a hyper state of awareness now. You're internal, but yet everything external adds to that internalness. And as you go down deeper and deeper, and the center is, when we get to the bottom of those stairs now, just walk all the way down. You're going to see this big open room. This open room can look anything you want. This is in your mind. You're going to create it right now. Your subconscious is going to create this for you. And in the center of that room, you're going to make a desk. I want you to see that desk sitting there. Make it any type of desk you want. Metal, wood, could be anything made up, thought of in the center of this huge room. And I want you to make this room round, just like your mind is round, your head is round. You're going to see it. And put a chair behind the desk now. Just let it pop in there in your imagination. And I want you to also pop one in front of it, so that there's place for two figures to sit, one behind the desk and one in front of the desk. Feeling much more relaxed now. Take yourself 10 times deeper now, all the way down as your breath becomes regular. Now behind that desk is a door in the back room, and there's going to be a figure come out of that door in a minute. And I want you to ask your subconscious mind this. If you were to present yourself to me in any figure I want, living, dead, imagined, cartoon character, anything, I want you to ask your mind now, what would that figure look like? And I want them to pass through that door and come take the seat behind the desk. And just let that, and just nod at me now. Don't have to look up. Just nod when you've actually got that and you can see that figure clearly in your mind, and that figure has come up and walked and sat in that desk. You got that? Great, Paul. Fantastic. Take as much time as you need, Chris. Just let it happen. Ask, what would that figure look like? What would you present yourself to me? There you go. Fantastic. So now that figure is sitting down behind the desk. That figure now, from this point forward, is your subconscious mind. That is the projection of your subconscious mind that you can now see and talk and converse with. So I want you to go sit in your mind, sit your body in that chair in front of it, facing that figure. And I want you to ask that figure this, because it knows and controls the 60 trillion cells in your body, along with every thought, every experience you've ever had in your life. Now, the active things that it needs to worry about, that room that it came out of is your storage room, full of every experience you've ever had, every emotion, every neural pattern that we were just talking about is in that room, okay? And this figure's job is to do nothing but run and control those files and experiences and feelings and emotions for you. So while you're looking at that figure, I want them to ask them, show me right now on this desk in the series of files. I want you to just, on the count of 3, pop everything on there that your mind is currently dealing with. Past, present, things you're even concerned about in the future. I want you to just 1, 2, 3, let them pile up on that desk. I want you to say, is that a pretty big pile? You both agree. Look at the nod, and there's a huge pile there, right? Can you even see the person behind it? There's so much paperwork on that desk now of all the things that it's been dealing with. So what I want you to do is, since this is a creation in your mind as well and a great visualization, but you're now communicating directly with your subconscious mind, is you ask that figure, your subconscious mind, of, hey, listen, I need you to do a very specific job. You're doing a fantastic job over the years. This is a huge workload. I don't want you to have that much of a workload daily. I want you to work more on my everyday things for me. So what I want you to do, and it knows in an instant, every file that's there, every word, every experience in those files. So I want you to just ask that figurehead in the next 30 seconds, I want it to take and pull all those files that are not needed for everything in your momentary life right now, the thing it needs to run and actually do without worrying, without concerns, just your everyday life, to take those files and zoom them to the back room and follow them in the appropriate, and to disconnect all emotion and energy with those files for right now until you need them. So just tell it to take the next 30 seconds at their discretion, because it knows what files in there are important to you right now and which ones aren't, which ones are just taking up space and time and energy. So as I'm talking, just let that happen. See him racing back and forth. He's doing it at lightning speed. It's just amazing, because it's the imagination anyway, which the imagination is your reality. So now it's putting all that stuff in the back room. And as that's happening, you feel yourself getting lighter and lighter of all the disassociation that takes place with all those things that you don't have to be concerned about now, that part of your mind is aware of and can pull out in any moment's notice. Okay? And it gets lighter and lighter the more things come off that desk. And when it gets down to a manageable level and you see that figure now smiling because it doesn't feel overburdened anymore, it knows it's got a very manageable thing on the desk, I want you to see it come, sit back down, lean back in that chair, put the arms behind the head and take a deep breath and sigh, and you can take that sigh with it. Deep breath in, hold it for a couple seconds, 5, 4, 3, 2, and just release. And you're feeling very, very relaxed now, because all that weight is now off of you. All those neuroassociations, all that energy that was being spent looking through those other files is no longer needed. And now it can concentrate on just, and I'm going to ask you both, just nod your heads now. Do those desks look pretty empty? I mean, very manageable, I should say. There you go. See? So now your workload of your data, which used to feel this weight, is now very manageable. It's very, you can put more energy towards other things. I want you to thank that figure behind there. Now I want you to also lock this in, that any time you walk down those stairs, whether you're in this state or fully awakened, heightened state, you can walk in your mind at any time if you take just 3 breaths and walk down the stairway and sit down and talk to this individual, or simply they know what you're saying, by call it telepathy or whatever, exactly what your intentions are. So while you're down there right now and that workload is completely lifted, I want you both to talk about any habits or any other things that are left on the desk that may be a part of your daily life that this figure knows and can go into all that huge resources of files and your creative centers in there, and can go back and pull something out to substitute for those patterns that no longer need to be on the desk, that you can do a different way. Okay? And I want you to ask it that now, and it's going to go grab some files for you. It knows what those files are. It may not even tell you right now, but it's going to set them on the desk, which makes it accessible to them. And they're going to execute those over the next couple days. And you're going to feel the changes. And when you see those files have been brought out, and that figure is smiling and now knows that it has an alternative, I want you to just let a big smile come on your face and just give me a nod when he's brought those files, or that figure has brought the files out. There you go. Fantastic, Paul. Chris, there you go. Okay. So now this can be any series in those files, guys, or anything you've been wanting to work on, not just one issue, but all of them. And it's going to now execute those over for the next couple of days. It's going to seem like this incredible miracle, but remember, you have access to this figure at any time. You now have a permanent link directly to your subconscious to be able to talk to. And you can do it in this way. This is the visualization your mind will use from this point forward. And you can execute incredible patterns. Do anything you want with your life. Have amazing energy. I want you to feel that energy right now, just going from your toes to your head to your toes. Just feel it. I want you to give it a color, any color you want. Because when you're in this room, you're going to feel that energy every time. Something that just let your mind go. Let him pull out a file of one of the most energetic, positive times you've ever had in your life. Something where you felt like you were on top of the world. I don't know if it was when you married the person of your choice, or you had a baby born, or something that happened that just made you feel incredible. And I want you to put that feeling inside you right now. And I want you to double it and triple it and 50 times and 100. And I want you to just see that color spinning, associate it with that color and spin it in that room. And it's going to spin till it fills up that room. And it's almost like a tornado, just positive, twirling, fierce energy in there of all that intensity. And then I want you to see it just whoosh, straight into you, just right into your body and into your mind. And both you and that other figure completely energized. You're ready to take on the world. You're ready to conquer any challenges that come your way, because you don't have problems now. You have challenges. There's a difference. Challenges you're ready to take on. That figure in the chair loves challenges. It exists just for that reason. Challenges that you give it. And you now know that there's nothing that stands between the communication between you and the figure in the chair. You come down at any time. This feeling intensifies. You think about that color at any time, and you're going to intensify that feeling as well. So I want you to take all these suggestions, letting them become your reality, seeing them on the chair. I want you to disconnect from that person now. Tell them that you will see, or that figure. Tell them that you will talk, and they're there anytime you want to talk to them. You say they now. All you got to do is see that picture in your mind. I want you to take a deep breath in. Stand up out of that chair, and in your mind, see this huge stretch, enjoying that new weightlessness that you have. All those things are in the back room. Can be visited at any time, just no more needed emotion and open emotion with it. And I want you to push that chair in. Everything's orderly and nice on that desk. Those new files are there for that figure to execute. And I want you to step. Now, look back up out of your mind. And as we count upwards from 1 to 10, you're going to just go back up those stairs. 1 now, first stair. 2, walking back out, feeling absolutely more relieved every step you take up, back into the light. 3, 4, starting to go faster now, coming all the way up to the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, reaching the top, fully back in the room. You can let your arms completely drop down now. And how do both of you feel?
I wasn't violated, was I?
Feel pretty good.
I feel better.
What's
I
interesting,
feel
let me
like
ask you
I
this,
slept.
an honest question, Karen, now, because I get different responses. Either one of your arms really feel tired?
No, actually.
Mine started too, but yeah, it kind of dissipated.
There you go.
Mhm.
Now, what's interesting, and I tell all of you there, try and sit with how many minutes do you have? We should
It was
talked
about. it was
Try and
about
sit
10 it
with
was
your
about
arm
10
like that
minutes.
in a steady position for 10 minutes and see if you don't get tired. And that'll tell you that you're in a trance state. You don't even realize it because you disconnect. And one of the first things I did, if I actually used what's called a disassociation technique, because I said that hand. I didn't say your hand. I said stare at the back of that hand, which when I say that, automatically, the neurolinguistics of it is that now disassociates from the hand. So, because here's the thing to try when you're in pain. Let's say you have a pain in your foot or anywhere in your body. Don't say my foot hurts. Say that foot looks like it would hurt. And the automatic disassociation of the language will make your mind start to disconnect from the pain response.
I'm all right on that one. That one got covered pretty good.
Dude,
By my own hand and others.
what's funny is I was watching both of your expressions.
Isn't it interesting
stuff,
how
and
the
it's-
emotion
it is.
it's
It's really
triggered and
interesting.
very, very real. It's like
Mhm.
you're having an open conversation with them that they're,
Yeah.
responding to real stimulus.
Yeah,
So,
because when you pictured your character, your head kind of twisted just a little bit,
yeah.
and it was just like, okay, I can see you getting it, and I can see you getting it too, because you looked and you kind of went back a little bit.
Yeah, like it's
You
almost
you sitting there and you kind of
because you're shocked at what your mind is.
Right.
I'm not even gonna say shocked. You're having a reaction to what your mind is showing you.
Right.
That, wow, it did create something for
It
me.
walked
and that's
through
why-
the door and you went. It was just a little bit. And you didn't open your eyes or anything.
You can definitely tell the
but you saw it.
physiological reaction
Mine's
to.
skittered. My mind was skittering the whole time too.
Yeah.
Yeah, with each one, everything would change a little bit. The desk changed.
Yeah,
Everything.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And you can do that. It's same as it does in a dream. You ever been in a dream and one moment you're in a room and the room looks differently? And
Yeah.
the thing is that you built the pattern now. You've never run that pattern before. So you've never thought in the center of your mind and seen a person. Through those neuroassociations, we built a pattern now that you were directly and being in that state, you're talking to your subconscious mind. So same as I was with the fingers.
Yeah. Your shoulders slumped when you said that. Watch him take all the stuff out.
Yeah.
Your shoulders actually relaxed.
Yeah, you did. Big
You
time.
just went.
And then you got this big shit-eating grin on your face.
You did. He started grinning. He's like going.
Now, honestly, and be honest with us. I don't want a predestined response. How do you feel right now overall of how when you
I feel way better than when I got here.
You
Yeah,
feel
me
relaxed? What are some words you'd put on it if you had to describe overall how you feel?
Relax. That's like one that I don't use on myself ever.
What's funny, guys,
Yeah.
is can you see normally how he talks in the state he's in? Right now, he's talking with a slower speech. His physiology is completely different than he's normally in.
He's more relaxed.
So what I want you guys to do over the next couple of days is with the viewers on here, you'll notice some things that we didn't even cover. I mean, as far as in specifics, you'll say, Mike, wow, this happened. And I want you to just be cognitively aware of the changes, because whatever files were on that desk have more to do than just your smoking. It's going to change when we tell it that. It's going to come out, and you will see direct changes in your life and it'll be very significant to you, and it'll hit you like a gang of bricks. You'll be like, holy fuck, I didn't realize that. Just, that's something I normally wouldn't have done, or I wouldn't have thought about something, or I wouldn't have reacted this way. I had a thing with an entertainer that came up in the booth. This is 5 or 6 years ago, and she says, Mike, I've got this and this and this going on. Well, I happen to see that while I'm telling, she goes, I really don't have time. I want to set up a hypnosis appointment with you. And I used that, and it took me 30 seconds. And it was about her man upsetting her to the point, I said, well, I got to really relax for a second. And I said, you'll no longer feel like that. And her eyes flashed. And I said, you feel fantastic. You'll feel that way from now on. Come see me in a couple days. 4 days later, she worked with me, and she comes walking in. She throws her purse down. She goes, what the fuck did you do to me? And I said, what? She goes, you did something. You did some hocus pocus bullshit. And I said, why? She goes, my man has fucked up in every way he can in the past 4 days, and I haven't even cared. And this is one the cops are like at their house every other night, because she goes, Mike, I'm broken. I said, hey, are you getting along? She goes, yeah, but he's doing whatever he wants. I said, do you give a shit? She goes, no. I said, you're welcome.
Now it's time to get rid of it.
And that's what she said. She said, I think I'm just done with it. I said, there you go. That's another decision you made for yourself. So, So.
Yeah.
But that's how quickly changes can be made. And it doesn't have to be, people think psychologists want you have to go into specifics. No. And where part of this comes from, guys, I want to give the backstory on what really, one of the things that led me into the whole hypnosis trade, mind mechanics thing that started 37 years ago, is a couple passions I had kind of crossed paths. And I'll give you the real quick story of it. There's a man named Edgar Casey who was a well-known prophet that in his things, and he made a lot of prophecies, but one of the things he was well known for is people could come to him, and I mean big name Rockefellers, people like this came to him for medical diagnosis. He was a little country doctor, but he didn't give he didn't do any, he could talk about someone from 2,000 miles away and say, he would give him a name, he would put himself in a trance state, because in his own treatment, to get his voice back, he went to a hypnotist. Well, the hypnotist putting him in a trance like this, that now from whenever, I'll tell you what's funny, go home and when you're by yourself, just try and do that with your arm and look at it and watch what happens to you. You'll instantly go into that state. So kind of like with Kristen, how I can say, it's just a training mechanism.
I'm telling you right now, I didn't know I was stepping on her foot, because if I did, I would have said so. Look, I'm stepping on her foot. And she ain't doing
you
nothing.
can actually just look at the back.
And I didn't step on your foot.
Your mind will start to follow that same thing.
Wow.
But anyway, Edgar Casey, when asked, he was very spot on for not only saying what was wrong with the person when he never met them physically, and he would say what was wrong with them, and then he would give a diagnosis of how to cure it. And they weren't like real well-known medical cures. Some of them were pretty far out.
How long ago was that? That was like
40s, I think. He was in the 40s.
See, I remember like a sentence or two in school.
Yeah, he was from Kentucky. He was a little country doctor from Kentucky. And there's some really good things out there.
I bet you they had nothing in about him, because I think a sentence or two I remember seeing.
There's actually the Edgar Casey Foundation, because he hired a stenographer or a shorthand, whatever she was, to go through, and he would then put himself in and do all these, on everything, Finding of Atlantis, all this stuff. He predicted the stock market crash to the day, and things like this, the beginning and the end of World War I, told when it would. And his predictions have been it's funny, everybody's heard of Nostradamus, and Nostradamus kind of did the same thing. He would stare at a flame and put himself into a trance-like state, and that acts. But Edgar Casey said something, we can all do. We all have access to this information. But my point for the story is this. When asked where he got the information for the diagnosis as well as, the cure, he said, well, that's easy. It comes from the person's subconscious. So then it didn't hit me as hard as it did later. I think, wait a minute. And that's where I developed this routine was from, listen, instead of us trying to dig and have the subconscious put a name, because it may not even have a name for that pattern or anything else. So let's just tell it, hey, where that thing is stored and it knows, go in and correct these things. And let's give it some visualizations. That's how the cognitive mind interacts with that information. It doesn't have to have names on it. It just sees it as files. And you ask it in generality and it goes in and does its job. It says, oh, okay, this is what you want me to do. You know, part of overthinkers and what we do in the real world, or the waking world, as I like to call it, is we want to say, well, what's the name, or what caused that? Like Freudian approach. Well, you must have had a grudge against your mother when you were that may have been what created the pattern, but it doesn't matter what created the pattern. What matters is the pattern. The pattern that's running is all your mind knows. It doesn't really care why it was created. Like I said, your subconscious doesn't deal in that. Okay. It deals in the fact that, oh, you want this. This is the pattern I run for that, just like a jukebox. Well, until that pattern's changed, it doesn't run anything else. And it doesn't change it until you tell it the record's scratched or broken, which is what we just did there. Hey, we don't want to deal with all this stuff. This is where a lot of our sleeplessness and, what do you call it? It's escaping me for the moment. But come on, where you can't sleep. Thank you, insomnia. Talk about a neural block, huh? I had actually mentioned myself, don't forget the word, and then I forgot it right as I went to say something. So I gave myself a self-suggestion there. But because that's something I deal with for years, And I tell people that simple pattern right there is what I actually came up with originally to help insomniacs. And I saw many, like 80% of people that run through that pattern. And afterwards, they're like, man, I slept like a rock last night. I've never done that in 10 years. People that I didn't even know had insomnia come back later and said, well, I've had some interesting thing happens. But the one thing is I had insomnia and I didn't even tell you about it. Now I don't.
Yeah.
See,
I found out it's through all these. Well, where it really became interesting is a couple of years back, we went and actually got I think it was Stanford we went to. I'm trying to remember. For the point of the story, it doesn't matter. But they actually did an MRI on a person's head, to see all the electrical activity of right before and after that pattern. And the doctors were shocked at the amount of neural activity decrease in a good way, that there weren't all these firings. And the more the blue increased and the calmness and some of the centers that, are a more well state of being in the human mind started to come out.
And they published all of that and saved the world. Fuck, they didn't. We got a goal, bro.
Well, you know what? A lot of them do. And there's links on the bottom of my site. You'll see things for like neurology.com and some of the brain centers and places that, yes, they're always doing this where
See,
they
that's to me like,
but it's not a part of mainstream. You're not going to see it on your,
no, because
advertisement for your the blue pill or the purple pill.
That's why you don't get a Garrett.
Right,
You get a treatment.
And you'll run into, there's more and more doctors. I will say this because I do talks for doctors. And like I said, I usually, because one of the very first things I do is have every one of them put their hands up and say, repeat after me. I don't cure shit, because they don't. I said,
No.
Where have we got? Doctors don't cure anything. Every cure and healing happens within the body itself. The body heals itself or it doesn't, depending on what your immune system and your, but what triggers that response? There's a study out there that says 30% of healing starts to happen in your mind and body the very second you decide to go to the doctor, because you have a neuro associated that going to the doctor is going to make you better.
Something's wrong. I got to go.
Not me, man. I never look at it.
And your brain starts working on
yeah.
healing.
Yeah.
Also, like I've said, the thing about addictions, okay, especially with heroin and opiates, because there's 80,000 on average. 80,000. It's different now that COVID's hit. 80,000 operations a day in the U.S. that require the use of heavy painkillers. But yet people will be on these incredible amounts of drugs that are higher than some people's daily use of habits, and they don't come out an addict. Why? Because the mentality is different. I'm getting better. I leave. I'm not an addict. I don't need it. You see what I mean?
Right.
And there was actually a study done on this, and now there's been many, many studies. One where we had 2,500 hospitals send people home, non-critical care, but send them home early. See what happens. Well, when they went home, they were no longer in the hospital, and they were healing, and they healed better at home, and faster was the thing. They healed up to 60% faster because they were in their home setting and they were getting better, instead of being sick in a hospital, because most people associate in a hospital with being sick.
Can work the opposite way when you're freaking forced and slammed and just on negative shit like colds. No shit.
How do you feel right now?
Well, I don't know. Why?
No.
Well, if you don't know, who does?
How do you feel right now? Because, dude, you're not screaming at everybody.
No, you're not. And
you're actually really
I think
calm.
most of your viewers will tell you your whole physiology is very relaxed.
It is.
Yeah. You have
it's like a
lot different.
It's like a complete turnaround. Yeah. It's like you're just really calm. You're
after
talking.
you sleep, I think
you're talking
have the
normal.
best night's sleep you've had in as many years you
I
can
could use that too.
Yeah.
I got something called
Tune in
not
tomorrow, guys, and they're going to give you your comments on
It's
there.
not
insanity.
insanity.
Oh, yeah.
It's some insanity. That's what it is. That's the.
You just got to make sure the sun comes up again.
I have to, man. One time, maybe twice since this shit started. And it don't matter how tired I am, laying down in my bed 6 hours before it comes up, trying. Nope. Can't do it.
Well, you might get a good night's sleep tonight.
And here's what I want everybody to remember too, because I'm in several non-smoking forums, and I tell people this: don't build this for you in your mind. Every day and every moment you go without a cigarette, even when you talk about quitting. Okay, everybody makes this big deal about quitting. Okay,
It's keeping it going.
you didn't start having a pack a day. You didn't start usually having 2 packs a day. And here's why I see so many in the forums. I see this post over, and I had to make a video for it because people say, "Oh my God, I have to start all over." You know, I quit. I went 6 months without a cigarette, and I had a cigarette. I have to start. Why do you have to start over? That's like, and I give them this analogy. I said, if you're on the wagon, so because most people say I fell off the wagon.
Well, they don't get
Okay,
that
well, if
kick.
you're on the wagon on a journey and you've now gone 6 months, so let's see that as every day is a mile, and you've now gone 180, miles. I said, have you now, because you stopped the wagon and got off for a second, have you lost that distance? No. You're still on a journey, and you were now a non-smoker for 6 months, so you've accomplished that. So don't negate in your own mind the accomplishments you've made. If you have a cigarette, have a cigarette. It's not the end of the thing is the mindset. You're going to get to, because now you're training your body to say, well, I don't really need it. I went one without this long. I can do it again.
No,
If you tell yourself,
I had 3 when I was out there.
Yeah.
I have no desire to have one right now.
there you go. And all you have to do is anchor that response to where.
Because, a little while ago when you just woke up, you said you're kind of craving it a little bit.
Oh yeah.
And now you're not.
Well, it comes and goes a little bit.
There you go.
But you got to remember, I'm a heavy smoker. I'm a real heavy smoker.
Now you smoke more
But the
than I do.
simple realization that you are actually in a level of control of that. Before you were simply telling your mind, "Oh, if I quit, I'm going to have cravings." See, we're sending an instruction. No, you're not. When you're having cravings, if you realize I'm having them because I'm creating them, then you can do so. And all you have to do is distract your mind. And I tell people, if nothing else, do this. Imagine, because you see how strong imagination is, that you're smoking one. Do the deep breathing, and you'll feel relaxed. And sometimes you'll feel all the effects of when you smoked anyway.
See, that's my
by
thing.
just doing the motion. Because guess what?
That's
You heard of martial arts and muscle training, muscle memory? This right here triggers a response in your brain because you've done it for so. If you had to say how many times you've done this, how many times would you say? Million?
Wow.
So
That
now
arm
when
should
you
be
still
really
do
hard-
it,
really
your
big.
brain has triggered a response to that, whether you're actually smoking. And if you're seeing it, it's 3 times. as
See,
strong.
like my ex's dad and mom got hypnotized to quit smoking. He quit. He still chews on coffee straws
right,
20-something years later.
He substituted
She
it for
lasted a
something
couple
else, some other tick or,
Yeah.
and you can.
But I mean, well, I don't know. California banned straws. It might be worse than a cigarette. I'm not fucking sure, but I might want to. Hey, Bill, don't do it.
Oh yeah.
But-
Did you know that Kimmy collects
That ain't
straws all
true.
year long just for the NAM trip?
Oh, really?
Really?
She's got plastic straws. She
What?
carries them in the restaurants with her. No thanks, I got this one. She,
Oh, no,
I
they
brought
went
my
back.
own.
They found out they're worse because they don't break up, they don't recycle.
Right.
There's all kinds of weird shit, and it's like you guys, what you did, all of this bullshit about. Okay, no, and it doesn't recycle. I mean, they got screwed, and I'm sure the taxpayers of California paid gangs of money to get that study.
Keep
done.
talking. I want to show you something. Just keep talking.
What?
Just keep talking. I want to show you
Oh,
something.
now you got me all nervous and shit, man.
No.
You're not nervous?
What?
No, just
What?
say that. What? Just say something. Just talk
What?
like you
I'm
normally
talking
talk.
right now. What? Why it ain't into the red?
Normally you're peaking.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
You
Your whole,
peak.
every pattern
Everything
you
you
have is
do
different right now.
Oh, yeah.
as
It's all
peak.
chill.
Now you're just you're
And you're not
we're
having to
talking.
think about it. So that
Yeah.
shows you that something in your subconscious is.
Oh no.
You're not talking over anybody.
Don't worry, you'll still be an asshole.
Yeah.
You'll just
Okay.
be a
You're
lot
still-
more in
you're-
control of it.
You're still our asshole, man. It's all right.
I just see it a month now. He's going to be in a fucking gold robe and shit, all bald shaven and everything.
No, hell no, man. Hey, my head was already fucked up
Look,
before this
look,
last.
I can't get my fingers apart.
I don't care as long as I can freak
periodically
that
just
one.
go door to door for no reason in this neighborhood.
Hi, how are you? I just want to say
I
hello.
would like to talk about our higher power.
No, I don't never want to be that nice.
You guys gonna have a little ponytail on the back of his head.
Hey, man.
Yeah, that's it.
Just burning, isn't
Just the ponytail.
it? She just cooks on
I
the
think she
show.
cooks.
Okay.
Yeah, she thinks so.
Well, anyway, folks, it's that easy.
No.
This is your power that's inside every single one of you. I say it. I will say it until the day I no longer have a breath to say it. And it'll probably be the last thing I say. But trust me, 37 years of my life, and it never, and it's why I still do what I do, is because to watch people be able to make changes that they were told they can't do or isn't possible without this or that, or I'm going to have cravings, and to see them do the exact opposite. And like I said, and I don't ask anybody, no false, because I don't guarantee that somebody said, well, I didn't quit smoking right away. It doesn't matter. You're on that, and I can see by some of the change, like you said, even that's a huge change for someone that smokes so heavily to say, hey, I'm really not really craving anything right now, and he'll have control of that. There may be times when he has a weaker moment. There may be times when that'll depend on him and his drive. And I don't ask. I want everybody to be real honest. I want them for the follow up. That's the one thing I ask from you both is be honest with people on here and
I'm gonna
say over how you're doing, and say
I'm not gonna lie.
no,
because
I don't. That's one thing I don't expect.
Honestly, I think I was putting pressure on myself, man. I was like, man, I hope this works. Because I don't want to make him look like a dick, but fuck that.
No. Because it does. That's the one thing, and I've told you there is no 100% success, but there is 100% success in this. I have never had anybody that said yes, I want to quit, that over a certain amount of time hasn't. Not everybody quits very first session. Right. I've had some people say, hey, I was doing great, like you said, for a week or two, and then I said, well, then come back at a refresher, and we'll go through it again. Or we'll go through something a little bit different. I'll pitch your mind.
Hey, man, don't you got a business number too, man?
I have a bed over in the corner.
Hey, if any of you assholes been watching this since, I guess I'm talking quiet or something. I don't know if you can hear me, but yeah, I don't know whatever, something happened. Get his number, man. What the hell?
Yeah,
He's a good dude.
Well, they contact me through.
Really, he's just. I've never seen him this chill.
I can definitely see.
Not hardly at all.
It's a very good change. Quiet. It's very nice to see you very relaxed
at an even
keel,
keel voice.
Part of the conversation.
I think they're just fucking with me.
No, I'm not,
no,
dude.
no.
How many times have I told, dude, why are you yelling at me? And you're right next to me.
Yeah, you're very, very animated most of the time.
Yeah.
Like,
He's still
it looks like a game with Xanax.
He's like, wait a minute.
But it's a good thing.
What happened to me?
It's a very good thing. It's very nice.
I have too a little bit. I'm like,
yeah.
Okay.
And guys,
what do I file away and what don't I?
Right.
I got a lot of shit there. I got to remember to piss.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't sit there and shit yourself.
But what's interesting is that
I'm so relaxed.
Now, when you look back, did you have a shitload of piles on your desk when we first set pile everything up there?
Not a shitload of piles.
It fell off the side.
That went like sky high. It's interesting how people's minds portray differently. And then after you got done, what did it look like? Very organized desk with very manageable caseload.
There was another.
There you go.
Like this as opposed to 2 stories.
There you go.
Yeah, Chris.
So see, even the perception difference.
My shit was dumping off. At first, it was like really high, and whoever I put behind the desk was already covered, and then all of a sudden there was more, and the shit.
That's what changed. Because the person I put behind the desk changed.
Yeah,
absolutely. The desk itself changed.
Yep.
The only thing that stayed the same was the color.
Yep. But see, the fact is that now you have a person behind the desk, and now, or whatever. Sometimes it's not even a person. It can be a figure. I've had people have cartoon characters, and they're like, I don't even know what that is. Doesn't matter. As long as your mind creates it for you, it's created by you, for you. And that's why when it comes from that part of you, it's representing itself. It really is. And that's why next time you see that, you're communicating directly with that part because it's built that neuro association. It's now part of your neural process. Yeah. So.
Yes. I purposely didn't go along with it because I was going to. I was going to go along with it. I wanted to see the reactions.
Yeah, and it's good to sometimes sit back and actually watch when you see other people. Because they don't realize it when they're doing it. Play it back for them. You'll be really surprised even when you're
watching.
I've had people forget that if I don't say anything about the hand afterwards, they're still talking to me and they're sitting there like this for about 10 minutes.
What's really funny about that whole thing is the person that's behind this desk is the most organized person I've ever known in my life.
There you go.
But also the same person and why I started smoking.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, wow.
Now, have they quit, or are they still smoking, or are they no longer with us?
They're no longer with us.
Okay. Yeah. So see, and that may be, we don't know why the mind presents it the way it does, but that's why I let the mind make up its decision of why it presents what it does. And if it was switching, it was coming up very fastly running what was best for you, because that's what it was instructed to do, is whatever, build the one that's
actually vibrating back and forth between two people.
Yeah.
So it was, really weird.
And there's nothing, see, that's interesting. And that I've seen that once or twice in all my years of that somebody said, yeah, I kept switching and now I go down and sometimes it's one person. And that doesn't matter. That's fine. It doesn't have to be, it's still representing itself through that process. And here's the thing where I've had people doubt this. I say, listen, if you doubt the effectiveness of visualizations, think about this. If anybody out there's afraid of heights, you ever seen those videos that run around on the internet that show the person on the top of the building? You ever see yourself going, why are you doing that to a 2D image? Okay. Don't think your nervous system and your body does not completely react to what you visualize and what you see. Because what you're doing there is you're mirroring neurons. Okay. You can see this happen actually in your brain on an MRI. When you're putting yourself in that spot with that person, your body reacts with that complete terror that situation is happening to you. Mm-hmm. Well, same thing. Anything you imagine and you're linking with that part of you, and then they're working together in the creative centers, everything. And those visualizations help you because before you've been taught to externalize all this. All of this is out here, okay, and that you're not in control of it. That visualization encompasses everything all into one and now has a neural link for your mind because before that didn't exist in their minds, okay? Mm-hmm. They didn't have a room with a person in it they can go talk to and ask about the files and pull information back and forth. There was no information exchange other than, the patterns were running. They think they want to change something, and there was a miscommunication there because it gets down to the office. It goes, nope, I'm too busy. Sorry, see all this on my desk? That's the way it was working before. Now they have a direct, and it responds to what they say. Okay, because that's all it's there is to serve them, is to keep them happy, keep them safe. So, and now they have a direct link to it. They don't have to go into hypnotic trance. They have the thing there. Because that was one of my things. I had people that would come back for this and then come back for that. And I know somebody said, why would you want to put yourself out of business? Well, because I'm not in the business of doing one-on-one sessions. I'm one limited person. And part of this message that I spent 37 years of my life is, listen, this sucker's so powerful. And we haven't been taught how powerful it is. I want that message to spread out there. Not to do 100,000 sessions next year, as much as I love dealing with people one-on-one, and I do because I still like seeing the change, and that's something on stage. And don't get me wrong, I can do it with 1,000 people in an audience too. And
Congress and the Senate hall, we need to get them people.
I don't think they'll let me speak.
Hey, let's lock that shit down. Get him on them speaker, man. I
actually met
you might be able to
years ago, and before he was
even your elevated voice is lower.
Yeah, it is.
Did you notice that?
Yeah, I did
Because he starts. You got excited because remember the last time you said before, you said, "Oh, you got to do it in Congress," and you were like way up there. Yeah. And now it's just like you express yourself, and you're excited about it.
I'm excited to even say because it's a Christmas present for me too to hear the next days and weeks and even months.
I do
that different things they'll attribute now and say, "Wow, I know this was attributed to what we did." And my mind did this, and I've had people come up to me years later and say, "Mike, you won't believe the changes that happened in a couple months after I had a session with you." And I'm like, "Fantastic!" And I've had people come up to me 15 years later and said, "This one thing that you showed me made all these changes in my life that led to this and this and this." And that's more payment than I could ever receive. Any amount of money, anything, is to hear the stories of when you can be that vital in helping someone change life. Because, like I said again, guys, not Jesus. I don't change anyone's life. I'm no one's savior. All I'm there is to pass on a message that you have this power. This is yours. It's not been taught to you, that it's there, and it's actually been tried to be taken away from you for everything they tell you, that you're this and you're that. You're made a victim. You're not born a victim. You're made a victim over time. Right. So,
and check it out. If you mention the show, you get a 10% discount.
Actually, guys, time allowing with anybody, like you bring people in or people want to appear on the show or even, come to your actual events, and I won't charge people.
Well, if we ever are able to have events.
I'll take you up on that with my wife and my brother.
Absolutely, yeah.
They're essential, yeah. Especially if this works with me, which I'm still.
Sure, and that's fine. Yeah. That's the cognitive mind going, I know what's going to happen.
I've already visited the room like 3 times since we've been sitting here. Seriously, I have. But it stopped it.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm telling you right now, it did stop the craving. I started craving another one, and it stopped it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Because seeing the pattern, that's the thing, is now you have an interrupt for the pattern. Okay. Before you had none. You didn't have anything you knew of. Your only interrupt was to go take care of it.
I was going to get tired of running up downstairs. I bought a single story house.
And like I said, let me be realistic. Not everybody stops because it's not a pass fail thing. If anybody out there that smokes, if you were smoking 10 less cigarettes a day, 5 less cigarettes a day, anything, is that a success? Absolutely. I don't care if you quit altogether right at once. You will slow down and stop. And I was doing that last time. I don't know.
It did it a couple seconds.
I think it has to do with light or something. Maybe
that's probably
that's what I thought.
Yeah. It's
Oh,
probably
lighting
it's probably
thing.
Because
lighting.
the last time we were here, you can see spirits in front of the camera.
So it's not
Really?
past y'all
We
the
were watching you
orbs and
guys
stuff.
the
It was
orbs.
I saw that.
All the
too, yeah.
friggin' orbs, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the last time you guys were here, it was just all night long.
It was crazy. There was a lot of
nonstop
activity in front of the
orbs.
cameras. So whatever
Wow.
it was.
It was. Oh yeah. Ask
Man,
Jeff.
why does nobody ever tell me that?
Ask Jeff.
I didn't see it either.
It was,
Go back and read your own
both Jeff and
comments.
I
They
were
were in there.
watching
People are
together. We were
talking about it.
We're like, holy crap! You see that?
Yeah.
It was just.
Well, you were filming right over there because they were all
Yeah.
over the place.
Yeah, there were. Yeah.
Oh
There were
yeah.
just nonstop orbs the whole time that you guys were on. And I mean,
That's
it wasn't like. It
Man,
wasn't
now,
like, you know,
see,
how
I
you
don't
see
watch
dust particles
those
sometimes.
videos. Yeah.
These
Yeah, I
were
know, I don't
moving in
either.
Weird.
Yeah, patterns.
It wasn't like they were just kind of floating.
A dust
They were
particle
doing
usually
patterns.
floats straight across. Where
Yeah,
these were
doing all
making
kinds of
patterns.
weird stuff.
I'll
Which
go
we
back-
have a lot of activity around here in other areas.
I'll go back and
That's
watch.
for another whole website.
I'll go back and watch.
That's
the
a whole nother
performance
show.
and stuff, but
The house I just moved from was haunted.
Yeah.
And I had a lady that she always went from the kitchen over
Yeah.
to the hallway through the dining room. Constant. I can see it all the time. My wife and I both went at the same time. And we have a blind dog, Maggie.
yeah,
Well-
that's my buddy, man.
Our other dog who is sighted would see her.
Uh-huh.
Okay, but Maggie not being able to see her, Maggie would be laying there. All of a sudden, Maggie would jump up and start running. Oh, what is this? She's touched her.
Mm-hmm.
She has no idea that she's there, and it really bothered the hell out of her. And it hasn't
All right.
happened since we moved. to
You
the
guys
house.
seen that dog, man? I don't care what you say. It's an albino goddamn basset hound that's
She is
blind.
not-
I'll
dude.
tell you one. All
She's
my
white,
years,
man.
for
Oh,
30
she's racist. Never mind. Not albino. I meant racist. Sorry.
for 30 years, and I don't know if some of your viewers know that I do a paranormal show that I've done for 10 years. But for 30 years of out in the field and all the apparitions I've tried to catch, and we caught one of the most crazy pictures with one of our houses in Key West, and there was one right here on this pole, and it's a black apparition holding on to the stripper pole. Now, we took about 150 pictures that night. It's on. You can go to everybody wants to see it. Go to
Man, I'm going to
everythingstrange.news
look.
and click
Okay.
on the one that says host files, or I think it's under ETS TV, and look for the one that says host files, or it's down, scroll down the page and you'll see it says stripper pole, ghost, or apparition, or whatever it says. But that's a real picture. It's not altered.
From this
We took-
one? Or
yeah,
different?
right there. It was taken
Oh.
from right. It was before Halloween, and we took
He's gonna move the
150.
camera over to
We
the
took
wall.
150 pictures that night, and it's so
What's your
clear that
question?
there's something black. And
Candy's got a question. What is it, sweetheart? Come on. Give it up.
I'm gonna
Yes,
move over
there
here
is
while
a
he's up there.
goddamn fucking stripper pole. And if you stay for the Patreon.
Out of all of that, that's what the question was. Out of everybody, there's
Right.
really a stripper pole.
yes,
Yeah, right.
there's a
Yes,
stripper
there's
pole in the
really a
middle of this
goddamn
room.
stripper pole.
Yeah.
I have married a couple entertainers now from my previous adventures, so that I have met while working in Las Vegas. And
What's the questions, lady? Come on, let's spit it out.
yeah, that's something we need to probably do. Is some start answering some so they feel more interactive.
Oh sure, yeah,
I'll
definitely.
gladly field any question that anybody.
Oh, Kimberly wanted, or Candy wanted to know if he put me under. Yeah, you ladies.
You guys gotta watch. You gotta watch.
Huh? Yeah.
Gotta rewatch the video. He
What's,
definitely
if
went
you
under.
rewind it, guys, and I can tell you from here that in the very early
Love
parts,
it too,
if you look
smart.
when I'm telling his hand to go up and down, he's going in and out very deeply right there.
Yeah.
Am I quieter?
Yeah.
We broke his volume.
He's just more relaxed.
Yeah,
what it
that's what it
right
is.
now.
Well,
He's
you're
That's
definitely
why we
more
relax.
relaxed.
I am too, most definitely.
Yeah.
I'm almost as relaxed as the
The
dog.
dog, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you
That
dream
dog
nightly
is like
of fallings. This is the thing. You gotta land. Stick the landing. Don't believe that shit, man. I stuck. It took me, a long time. I got close, and I'd wake up at that. right
I'd
before, and
always
finally hit the
wake up.
ground.
If I
said,
fell, I always woke
I
up.
knew it, Lars.
Never-
And from
I
then
never
on, for the
fell.
next year or two, I could.
Yeah.
I never had fallen.
I had one dream that I was flying.
Yeah.
I had wings and I was flying.
They say
I
that's
was
when you're feeling very empowered
Yeah,
at a time
I
in your
was-
life when you're
I was-
feeling very free.
I was doing
and
all
you'll
kinds
have
of
flying dreams.
weird shit, and all of a sudden I just took a dive.
Yeah.
And I'm going down. I'm just like, and I'm seeing the water come closer. And I'm like, shit. I mean, in my dream, I'm going, oh shit.
Yeah.
And I just went, fuck.
Yeah.
man,
Woke
I've
up,
had-
jerked
Things
awake.
over water.
Hey, that you ever had?
I don't know
that
how
one
deep the
when
water
you
was.
just
I
got
seen it
off?
land.
Could have been
so-
asleep.
The worst one to me is always that one where you like hell to you're sitting there and you look like nod off and you're not sure if it's just cold, and man, all of a sudden it's like
You
so
jerk,
horrible.
yeah.
Right as soon as it's like what the fuck?
You jerk
Where you
yourself
feel like
awake.
you're falling off of something. I get that a lot. I'll start to doze off. I think I'm rolling or falling off of something. So
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
And me, I will not sleep sitting up.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
That's embedded in my
I gotta
head.
lean back.
because
I
I've been
can
a
sleep
professional driver my
anywhere.
whole life.
Yeah.
Right.
That's like I'll never sleep on a steering wheel. Like a lot
Right,
of drivers will
right,
sleep
yeah.
on the steering wheel.
No.
My ass gets in the back and goes to bed. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
You're
that's why
establishing a
there's bed
pattern right
back
there that you don't want to get.
Exactly. Yeah. I've
Oh,
seen
yeah.
too many horrible accidents that because of that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that cab will not protect you hardly at all if you hit something solid with that much weight behind you.
Oh,
It's just-
no.
And those things are super. They made them so light that you have zero as a driver. You have zero protection.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You
I'll
have
tell you,
you have trucks out there that
It
the
ain't
dash
for
is
your
made out of
safety, it's so
paper.
they can save gas, Holmes.
I've got friends
Hey,
that drive in
yeah.
Russia and someplace that
Wow.
have some really, really
There's-
bad
There's
accidents.
no airbags in big trucks.
Right.
They can't have them.
Right.
Just like it's mandatory, you have to wear a seatbelt because if you get in an accident, they don't want you to be on the floor not being able to steer the truck or try to keep it away from other people because you have so much weight. So yes, there are trucks that actually have the dash is made of almost like paper mache, and that whole thing will crumble. That's why your fuel tanks are made to come off.
Mm-hmm.
In a bad accident, your fuel tanks eject.
Yeah.
They're gone.
Basically, they did it for like a NASCAR thing, but
Mhm.
not for your. I mean, it's basically so they don't get.
Oh yeah. That's well,
Well,
actually that's what I did
that's
when I was
why
in
when
the
I see
Army, was
cars,
drive
Kevin,
truck.
man, I've driven big rigs and stuff. Before when I
Oh,
was younger.
the bigger
The
truck,
amount of
the
weight,
more they cut
momentum,
you
and you
off.
think that you're gonna pull that guy's. He's not in control, guy. He can step on that brakes all he wants, and it's
7 years out of state line between Baker and here,
Yeah.
and man, kill people passing on the
Yeah.
right, passing rigs around the hazard lane. I've seen some bad shit, stupid things. And look, there's some dumbass truck drivers. When you
There are a lot of
when
them.
you burn your brakes coming off a mountain pass, that is
I
not
stay
even
as
a
far
hill,
away as
bro.
I can from Swift.
Oh no shit.
I've seen so many people
Yeah.
burn their brakes up
That's
on
been
that
an old
little
joke
hill.
for a long time.
But it's a joke based in very real reasons.
Look out, he's backing up. He's
He's
backing
backing
up.
up. He's Swifty. He's
Yeah.
Swifty.
Yeah, that's the biggest one.
Not to say there aren't some
Yeah,
good
that's a
Swift
question,
drivers
too.
out there. Okay.
There might be one or two.
Yeah. Well, it's like everything else. There's good drivers. There's bad
Exactly.
drivers.
What up, Joe? There's Joel from Hidden Scars. What up, asshole?
What up, Joe?
What's up?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's driving for so long, man, and that's another reason why I'm going through this because so I can keep driving. But it's,
Also, viewers, you can change even things, anxiety,
What?
all these,
What?
any of that is a
What are you
pattern
talking
and can
about?
also be changed through some of these same things. So don't let these doctors tell you have to. I mean, many, and anxiety is actually easier than any of the smoking or anything
I'll
else
get a
to
hold of
change.
you when I get
But it's
home
just
here
a
in an
pattern.
hour.
Don't let them
We'll
tell
be
you
up.
you're
What
broken
up, Danny?
because you're not broken. Your anxiety is part of your
I'll call
fight,
you on
flight, or freeze
Messenger when I
response, and
get,
it's just
home
wired
here
to
about
something
an
you
hour.
don't want it to be, and your brain thinks it's actually helping you. So
yeah, I have anxiety too.
same
Yeah,
thing.
just about everything.
And that may be, we'll find out. Next time that you may.
You gonna be up in an hour and I'll call you.
Exactly.
If not, I've got a very
I
specific
gotta get
pattern
your.
for
I
that.
gotta
I
get
know,
your
bro. It's
information
been a
and so I can
rough
get my-
couple of
my
weeks.
brother
Yeah.
get them taken care of.
Yeah. We'll definitely have our session.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now that you've seen, now you're even worried. You're out.
Oh yeah. Well, we've been wanting to do this for like a month already.
Yeah.
And he's gonna
But
marry my
this-
daughter.
Okay, I'll
next,
hit you up.
September.
September. Yeah, I'm gonna get my,
Hey, you a funny
my
motherfucker,
minister
Jeff.
license.
Hey,
Oh,
Jeff.
there
She
you
can
go.
be married by
Oh,
the
you're
captain.
gonna
Hey.
marry her. Okay, I'm
Yeah,
thinking.
yeah.
wait
Oh
a
no,
minute.
I'm not getting married to anybody. No,
He's gonna marry off.
I will.
Okay, yeah. You're gonna
Perform the
minister the
ceremony.
marriage.
I'm gonna
We got,
perform the ceremony.
Hey,
we have Leon C.
Jeff.
from the Platters doing the DJ and
Nice.
singing.
Nice.
Hey, Jeff Krasnak with
Mhm.
his kidney stones, just getting out of the hospital and all that. He said, "Can you block kidney pain?" LOL.
Kenny, what?
Can you block kidney pain? Well, obviously you
Block
don't want to
kidney
block
pain. Oh,
something
yeah,
that's
you could-
actually-
you could
Actually,
actually
yes.
block- yeah.
Any your pain
Well,
response, pain
Oh,
does
well, yeah, with the
pain does
Oh,
not
yeah.
come from the body. It's an electrical signal until it gets to the brain. So
Well,
yes,
that's
because
it.
painkillers, Jeff, simply work that way. They block the signal from getting up to the part of your
So-
mind that creates the pain.
Trust
So yes, you can disassociate from
the
it.
morphine, Jeff.
Yeah,
Trust
he-
the
One
morphine.
quick
Oh,
way,
he
and
has
I've told
been.
you this
I
before.
know he has been. That's why I said trust the
Trust
morphine.
But Jeff, if
Morphine is my
whatever, and
favorite
I
thing.
tell people I've actually done this live in a hospital setting. If you go in and part of the neuro association with that, is it still on?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, the
Is-
battery dropped in Atlanta.
You know, when the doctor asks you what level of pain are you in, and you instantly know that number between 1 and 10, 10 being the worst. This is what you do. Very
That's
simple, and you can try this right now. Is say you're at an 8. See that 8 as a number in front of your head when you say it, and trace it with your finger or whatever. So see it in red. And then what I want you to do is just say, okay, now I'm going to make it down a little bit into a 7 and start to see a little blue come into the red. And then I'm going to see it come down into a 6, a little more blue coming into it, down into a 5. As you go down in the numbers, you will see a decrease in your pain. And the more you practice that, because that is associating a color and a number with that area. So what you're doing is neurally linking to it. And the simple action of you visualizing the numbers coming down, same thing with any other response in your body, since it's being created in the brain. And I don't mean it's fake. When people, I say, oh, don't tell me I don't feel the pain like I do. But yes, understand, the body itself is incapable of feeling pain. It's a response generated when the electrical signal gets up to the part in your brain. Painkillers simply, that's their job, is to block the signal from reaching its destination. But yes, you can do the same thing with the neural associations. And I've had people that by the time they get down that are in excruciating pain and they do this and get down, all of a sudden they're like, Mike, I don't feel anything. So, but understand, pain is there. Chronic pain is not supposed to be there. It's a misuse of the system. It's a warning signal to tell you to look to a certain place. But if you get to, and some people are so good at blocking it, they can literally switch it on and off. Like I have a pain response. I could chop my finger off, switch my finger. Moving this piano right here, prime example. The person dropped this on my pinky and completely shattered right in front of the people. My pinky. Stuff, I don't want to get sick, but it was squirting out the end. The meat was hanging out, everything.
Awesome.
And I went like this for a second, right in the lady's living room. And I turned off my pain response. I simply wrapped it in a towel and picked the piano back up with that hand. And she's like, how did you do that? I said, I just simply turned off my pain response. Now you have to be careful, because if you get that good at it, you can actually damage yourself more, because now you have no feeling at all in that part. So, but yes, you're absolutely, your brain can, because your mind is creating that pain response in the first place. So neuro associated with it, do the numbers, and you can, and the more you do it, the greater control you'll learn over it. And some people, it happens instantaneous. By the time you get down, at least goes to a manageable level, and just leave it there so that you know you still have it, but you're not in excruciating pain anymore. So,
There you go. So, guys, look up the Mind Mechanic. Look him up.
I'm gonna get all
he's
this
really
red
good.
shit figured out tonight. I'm gonna freaking put up links and all that bullshit.
What shit?
The links.
Links.
Stuff I'm gonna
Wait,
type
wait,
up.
say that again.
I don't like
I didn't
that.
hear what you said.
I did not hear what he said.
it's okay, Chris. We're not
No.
going to teach you about it because we actually love it. It's nice.
Yeah.
We may have to set your volume a little on the external part of the mic.
That's what you were out
It's a
there.
great thing.
You were
I love
outside.
it.
Captain Steve-O told him, turn his volume out down just a little bit.
No, actually, I didn't. I didn't.
No.
You could ask him. I didn't say to do anything other than what he was.
And I can honestly say
Yeah.
you look more relaxed than I've seen you in a long, long time.
Yeah, you
And he
do.
was freaking out, stressing before. When I talked to him before you came to pick him up, he was not having a good day.
Yeah.
See, and there was
Seems
nothing to
very
be afraid
relaxed
of.
right
You
now.
weren't out of control at any time. You know, and watch your own replay, and I think
I
you'll be
might have to, man.
Yeah.
Now I'm like,
You'll see yourself.
What
You're like,
happened?
wow, I was actually nodding
who
off
the fuck
there.
is that dude, bro?
Yeah, because normally
I can't hear him.
but normally you're real animated.
Yeah.
You're bouncing all over the place. Even just sitting,
In an angry
sitting
way,
down.
too.
Yeah, and you're sitting down, and you're really, you have that
Vibrance
that
back.
yeah,
Inner
that
He does. He has a
energy.
vibrance to it.
Inner
And now,
peace.
yeah, now you're like me. You're chilled in a good way.
No,
I wasn't
I'm
your
not
wait.
saying that,
I
no.
wasn't your character, was I?
No, I'm telling you right now, man. That's something people should strive to be like. Is your fucking calm ass.
Yeah. I might be calm on the outside. I don't mess on the inside. Yeah.
Controlled chaos.
Yeah, control chaos. That's what that is.
But we're gonna work on that. So
Yeah,
we're gonna
definitely.
his stress level. We're gonna get it down to just, and that's why I think it was important for him to see tonight that there's that much of a change capable in just a few minutes of talking to that.
Oh, yeah.
mind.
This is the only motherfucker been around me. Is the only person been around me that much. I talk to him for hours a night, but
Mm. Well, it's a lot different talking to you on the phone than it is
In person.
being in person with you. It's
That is
not that it's
what do you mean?
a bad thing. No, it's just you're
Well, I
real
mean,
high.
In
You're
person-
real
in
high
person, you're
energy.
bouncing all over the place in real high.
Okay.
Yeah.
On the phone, you don't see me bouncing all over the place.
Exactly.
Every time. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, I was like,
That makes a big difference.
That's why when
Makes it easier than.
that's
trying to
when I
chase
was
down
on
the
acid and
conversation.
you were bouncing. I'm like, stop.
Dude, no.
Oh god.
Oh, my God.
Guys, it's
That
always
was
a pleasure.
hilarious. Oh yeah.
If you have any questions,
Good
feel free to
show.
post them in the forums or on their site, and I will try
Oh,
and
yes,
answer
please.
anything I can. So.
Oh yeah. If you guys have any questions, you can email us,
Oh, you not
Or
I guess I'll talk to
hit
you.
us up on Facebook or whatever, and
Am I
on
on
this
this?
feed.
Yeah, what do you mean are you on here?
No,
Are
I
you
mean,
watching?
Have I been asking any questions?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Thank you again, Mike, for
My
your
pleasure.
time and
Always here, guys.
your
Well, you guys
and your
better
humble
rewind
abode.
the shit if you want to see it to join late. I'm gonna go watch it. I might have to do
I'm
a
gonna have
watch
to- I'm
party
gonna have to
watch
watch
it
it,
live on Facebook.
Oh, definitely, because both your reactions were just
Yeah, and it's
it was really amazing to actually see,
and
and that's why I didn't join in with you, because I was going to join in with you guys, and I was just like, you know what,
What up, Nick?
I want to watch and see the reaction. Not that I didn't believe them.
No,
I
you still
wanted-
have
I
to
wanted
experience
to-
it for yourself.
Yeah, I
And
wanted
guys,
to-
listen, like I
to
said, I've been
know
doing
the
this
reaction.
37 years, and I'm still amazed at the way the human mind can go, like with Kristen can do what she can do. You know?
Oh yeah.
So, because it's instantaneous with her, and complete. So,
Oh,
but
yeah.
you'll get better every time you do the thing with your hand and watch, and you'll train. Just like I was telling him earlier with the state change, and you're building a pattern. So the more you concentrate on that pattern, and your mind likes where it's going, it'll keep doing it. So,
Oh yeah.
so.
All right, people.
But it was
we're
really
saying
it was
goodbye.
really
What are we
cool with
doing?
the fingers.
Yeah.
It was really cool. I was like,
Tell these
whoa.
assholes goodbye.
See you later, guys.
Bye,
Appreciate you
Good night,
guys.
everybody. Remember,
Leave
tune your mind,
comments,
transform
tune
your life.
minds. You're right. Exactly.
I'm going to watch this shit. I'm
Free
not
your mind,
playing.
your ass will follow.
Yeah, that too.
Oh yeah. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Wait, I forgot to tell you. Shay Chemist.